Can you hear me okay? Maybe. Can you hear me okay, blushing blue eyes? Okay, thank you. All right, 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to run in the house for a minute. Hey, Nana5, how are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. Hey, the quiz one, how are you? I hope that you are doing good. Oh, Makeup by Mandy. So I'm praying for you. Thank you, Makeup by Mandy, if you're still here. And yeah, so that'd be great. Thank you. Doodlebug. 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 Everybody loves Doodlebug. That's good, the quiz one. I kept watching to see if anybody was live, and I didn't see anybody, so I thought I would sneak one in here real quick. Sorry about that. Let me turn this off for a second. That looks terrible. I was playing around with StreamYards and setting, trying to work this brand stuff, and I think I'm still, I don't think I have it set right. Um, okay, clean that off. Hannah 5 is here. Salty C, good to see you. And what's everybody up to? There's been a lot of YouTube chatter stuff going on. A lot of crazy going on. Blushing Blue Eyes is here. Here. Doodlebug. Doodlebug is so sweet. Let's see. I didn't plan on being live for very long, but kind of wanted to talk about end of summer and beginning of the school year and stuff like that, and just check in and see how everybody was doing. Relaxing from a weekend of working. Haven't even tried to catch up on YouTube. Yeah, it's been kind of hit or miss. I caught some of Andy B's live last night and with AB. Yeah. Yeah. It's a compliment that people thought that I sounded like Tiffany, but I don't think that I sound like Tiffany at all. Tiffany has such a beautiful, soothing, relaxing voice, and I think that I'm kind of the opposite with that. But thank you. That was kind of funny, wasn't it? Um, Other creators calling in talking about themselves. It's about summer. It's about summer. But I think AB got a kick out of that too, maybe. I don't know. But it was funny. I thought it was funny. So everybody having a good Labor Day weekend? I know here it's been rainy, but it's been cool. And I went for a walk yesterday, and I love the weather. I love the weather here. I kind of like the end of summer going into fall. What I don't like is late fall going into winter and all of winter because it is miserable cold. I hope so. Um, I think I was just so aggravated. I was unfiltered, if that makes sense. I was I was just mad at the one person that called in, making it all about him. And it's about summer. It's about summer. It's not about him. Peaceful weekend where you're at. Good. Peaceful weekend where I'm at too. Cloudy here too. A little bit, but I like it. Um, I like a I like a break in the heat. It was pretty hot. Makes my back hurt quite a bit. So I like it whenever it cools off. Today was perfect. Even though it's been rainy, today's been perfect. I gotta tell you guys what I did. Thank you, the quiz one. Thank you. I wasn't nervous or anything. I was super aggravated. I woke up from a little nap, and I caught the tail end or kind of towards the tail end of AB's live, and I heard the other person call in and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, what the heck? Who cares about any of that stuff? This is Summer's case. It's about Summer. Calling in took up, what, 10 minutes of mumbo jumbo to promote himself or something? I don't know. But I thought it was extremely rude. Who cares what he thought? It's about summer. It's been raining all day in the 60s where you're at. That's about what it's been here, I think. I mean, it's definitely been a lot cooler. When the sun comes out, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. But it's been a good, refreshing cool off. I'm pretty happy with it. I thought so too, Nana. You know, it's the same creator that well, if you were here, not when I went for a walk yesterday, but my live stream before that, when I wasn't really calling anybody out. I was just kind of talking about the unnecessary extra with the Kylie Rodney case. And, you know, basically the video, what I was afraid of because the video with the underwater footage was shown. And then you've always got that one person that wants to like frame by frame and find all the gory details. And for what, what, what do they want all the crazy gory details for? If it's not to extort and publicize personal stuff. And I said yesterday when I went for a walk, I was testing out StreamYards on my cell phone, and I said this yesterday, but during that live, I had talked about, I mentioned autopsy reports, and I can't remember exactly how I worded it, but I said something like, if some of these creators could get hold of autopsy reports of some of the cases that they're covering, I fully believe that they would have no problem sharing those things, not caring at all about the family of the person that they're exposing like that. I had no idea that I had no clue because I don't watch his channel. I had no idea that he had already, frame by frame, of the underwater footage and then claiming to see Kylie's body. And how disgusting for her family. I mean, people can say that stuff, but here's the thing, they can never take it back, you know? It's going to be clipped, it's going to be shared. I mean, the internet's forever. So, I mean, I can imagine being Kylie's family and months from now, whenever they go searching her name to see, you know, everything that was, all the content that was made about her case. I mean, they're gonna run into that. Yeah, salty. I think it's like the second or third time since I've been watching content creators cover true crime that I was downright pissed off. It's just disgusting. And I don't understand how they don't see that what they're doing is such a violation of privacy, a complete violation of privacy. And he has kids, right? So I said yesterday, the time that I've been watching the true crime content on YouTube, I feel like you can tell the creators who have truly experienced tragedy and loss and those who have not. And I don't think that he has, because if he has ever experienced a tragic loss, I feel like it would change the way that I don't think he would have done that. I just don't. I mean, when you experience a tragic loss that completely uproots and shakes your entire life, it changes who you are, and things like that are going to, they're not going to be okay with you. I don't know how it's okay with him. Even more so, I don't understand how he still has so many supporters. He still has people defending him. I watch some of the clip channels because I don't watch channels like that because of that stuff. So I watch, clip channels to find out reactions and what people are thinking. And can't believe that there's supporters of that. I absolutely cannot believe. I mean, it's almost insulting to anybody who has children, because what's to say that if, God forbid, I mean, I don't even think about it, but God forbid, you know, one of us has a child that's in that scenario or that situation, and what's going to stop these creators from seeking out those gory details to just be the first person to put it out, to be the first person. I don't understand the gory details. I don't understand the fascination that these people have with, it's the police department, it's law enforcement, the investigators, the detectives, the FBI, it's law enforcement. They're charged with investigating crimes. It's it's law enforcement that's going to find the truth and all the details, take it to the prosecutor. Prosecutor's going to decide on if it's, you know, if it's court worthy or not, and so on and so forth becomes the justice system. I have always been under the impression true crime on YouTube, you're bringing awareness. You're talking about the people that are missing. You're talking about, the fugitives that are on the run. You're talking about crime in specific areas or whatnot. You're not solving cases. With that said, let me say Gray Hughes has been very beneficial with a couple of cases. His software, his editing, his mapping. He has absolutely, I used to mod for him, huge supporter of him. He has been very active with some cases. He's assisted law enforcement in a couple of cold cases, and the money that you know, he he donates so much of his proceeds or his profits from his YouTube channel to organizations that are assisting law enforcement. We're talking cold cases. Personally, I know of a couple of um, DNA funds that, people that had died where they never lived, and so they were Jane or John Doe, and they were buried, and then with identifinders and Gray Hughes raising the funds, they were able to find the identity, give the person the name, contact the family. So when I say these people aren't going to solve cases, I don't mean they're not going to solve cases like they're not assisting or something. But when they cross the line and start acting like they're law enforcement and that they're entitled to specific information or the details, that is completely a violation of privacy. And I just can't believe that there's not laws. I mean, anybody on the street that was interfering in a case or situation, stepping on law enforcement's toes, I mean, that's against the law. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but you can't interfere with an investigation. And I think that there's a lot of people that have crossed the line and that are doing that. And I don't see it boding very well you know, for the true crime creators that are putting the content out there. They're bringing awareness. They're showing that, keeping names out there. But I think that with the Kylie Rodney case, crossed, we've crossed the threshold into dangerous territory. And it just keeps getting worse, I think. I think every case that comes up, it's like the same people that go further and further and further over that line of decent, moral, good people. And I mean, it's crossing the line. I've been emailing with several people. So I'm going to pop this if anybody wants to join me on panel and have an opinion or anything like that. More than welcome. Let me pin that. I kind of like having open panels with people, sharing their opinions and stuff. Let me catch up with chat here. I'm not sure if I caught yours out, but thank you. I had just woke up from a little nap and I was floored. So I didn't really think that through. I was completely unfiltered, but I'm glad that I called. I mean, I hope so. I heard him giggling and laughing and stuff. Peaceful. Okay. Sorry, guys. I went on a little tangent. Yes, rude and unnecessary. You're being kind with words. I had other words. Which the clip stick to your stomach, no respect. Kylie's still a minor child. You know what? I thought about that too after my walk yesterday. I thought 16 years old, 17th birthday. Yeah, she's a minor. Yep. Out of line, disrespectful. Yep. Are you guys seeing a lot of people that are saying the opposite, that are encouraging this behavior? I don't want Jessica wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying. Thank you. Because I mean, if he had an open panel, I would jump on it in a hot minute and ask him, what's the intention behind that? What are you hoping to gain by frame and then alleging that, Kylie's bi? I mean, I just can't even say it. It's that completely disrespectful and out of line. Hey, emergency me. I pinned the link to the top of the chat, and you're welcome to join me. Hopefully, Kylie's family tunes everything out. How devastating it will be down the road. Nana 5, I hope that they tune it out and that they forget to come back to the platform and do any kind of a search. But chances are, several weeks to a few months from now, everybody I know that's lost a child, young adult age, it takes it takes several weeks to a couple of months or maybe longer, and then you kind of go you go on a search for all things on the internet and every platform and whatnot, and I hope that they never find it. I mean, if Justin has any amount of decency, kindness, compassion, empathy, or humanity left in him, he will private those or delete those. Just delete those. There's no reason for those to be out. And the damage is done. But say that you don't agree with it, apologize and pull the content. But I would like to know what were his intentions behind doing something so disgusting. And if it were his child, how would he feel? I mean, I hope that I wish that he would have an open panel, and I would ask him that. One never knows just how disrespectful and hurtful that is until a tragic loss is experienced. Unfortunately, there are too many heartless individuals on here that just do not think. I agree. The more that the behavior picks up, the next case will see worse behavior. The next case will see worse behavior. Those are the content creators that I feel like are lucky that they've never experienced a tragedy. At the same point, when they do, and everybody does, when they do, I wonder how they're going to look back on their behavior and reflect. I wonder how they're going to feel about that. Who knows with these people? But I hear a lot of chatter, and I've noticed that the majority of the content creators that are not like that put the story out there, they share their opinions, they make sure that their audience knows fact from opinion. They're not, they're not, they've kind of gone mute, like they don't want to be associated with the behaviors, if that makes sense. And that I haven't heard anybody say that. That's my opinion. But they're making community posts, calling out the bad behavior, and then they're kind of MIA. So, it's almost like these idiots are taking over the genre, which is not good. I mean, if somebody in my family had a tragedy right now, the last place I would send them would be to YouTube in general. There's three, maybe four tops that's pushing it creators that I would go to and say, would you put this information out there? But I would be fearful that these other people would latch hold of it and run with their theories. Oops, sorry. DNA companies that are helping find these Jane and John Does are amazing. Yes, Identifinders, Colleen Fitzpatrick. I've met her. I've talked to her through Gray's channel. She and Gray are very good friends, and they have a mutual respect. And Gray is very dedicated to continuing the DNA fund. I think it's amazing. I mean, I'm trying to remember the name, but I just cannot remember. I've been trying to think of it for the last, I don't know, 5 minutes. Um, but I watched start to finish of that, and I felt some type of way about it. I mean, this man, he was a young kid, and he died in a vehicle accident, and he was buried in a town far away from his family. His family just assumed that he ran off and that he just, never came back. His family was kind of, if I remember right, under the assumption that he joined the military or that he didn't like his family and he ran off. So imagine the burden that they carried when in fact he was a young teenager. I think he was on his way to enlist. And so he was hitchhiking, and a nice guy picked him up, and they crossed a bridge in the thunderstorm, and something happened, and he ended up passing away. And so the town buried him with no name. Years later, I think it was like 40 years later, 30 years later, his identity was revealed, and he had a brother that was still living. And I cried like a baby watching that, watching the brother go to where his brother was buried. So yeah, Identifinders is the one I'm the most familiar with, but there are several out there, and I'm glad that they're doing it. I'm very glad that they're doing it. Yes, let's hope. Let's hope she's at peace. These people are terrible. So when you think they went too far, they go further. Right, what's next? I mean, what's next? in their quest to be first or to have, the most information. And when something does happen, God forbid, I don't want anyone to suffer anything crazy or any tragedy, but can you imagine when something does happen, how they're going to expect the total opposite treatment that they're giving? I don't, hmm, I don't get it. Hey, Salty, I gotcha. AirPods. Oh, I hate that too. I hate when one of them doesn't work or one charges and the other doesn't. Take your time, girl. I don't understand YouTubers who expect people to come forward with information. Witnesses should speak to law enforcement. I also don't agree with YouTube naming suspects, especially minors. I agree with you, Tiny Tumbleweed. I agree with you 100%. It's not, I mean, again, it goes back to you have the good creators and the dirt bags. And the good creators are focused on putting the information out there, keeping the names out there, and telling the facts of the story. What does law enforcement want put out? They speak their opinion. They may have a theory, but they let it be known that that's their theory. Um, they don't misconstrue fact from their opinion, and they don't go on a hate campaign if somebody doesn't agree with them. They're simply putting the information out there, giving you pictures, giving you voices, giving you context, giving you the full picture. Those are good creators. They're going silent now because these other people are so far down the rabbit holes. It's this is my opinion. The good content creators almost don't want to be associated in any fashion with what the bad are doing, if that makes sense. That's sad. That's terribly sad. I've always thought as subscribers and members and supporters, we played a significant role with weeding out the good from the bad from the good by supporting the good content creators, memberships, um, liking the content, sharing the content, um, participating in chats, um, and super chatting financially. What you can do. It's not necessary, but supporting the good content creators and not supporting the bad. You don't have to bash them or go hard for them or anything like that. You just don't support them and you don't give them your time and your like and your view. Um, you don't engage with them and they kind of weed themselves out. But it's gotten so bad with how families and victims are treated that what I see now is the good content creators are just kind of stepping away, taking a break. And I don't blame them. I'm not blaming them. They're doing nothing wrong. I wouldn't want to be associated with the other stuff either. I really wouldn't. It's almost like what do we do? What do we do to stop these people from destroying more lives? I mean, imagine being Kylie's mom or dad or sibling or aunt or uncle or grandparent. I would lose my mind. Creators should spread awareness to other cases when no new information is available in the case they're working on. Way too many missing people, not just the latest headlines. Absolutely. I could not agree more. You said it. Excuse me. Said it perfectly well. You can tell who is in true crime for the right reasons. Absolutely. Yeah, let's see. There's also another story about a girl traveling and the town buried her. 30 years later, they named her. If that's one that Gray covered, I remember that one as well. I mean, he has been the leading role with several, Jane Doe, John Doe's, um, regaining or um, what's the word I'm looking for? Being given back their identity and a proper headstone, and family finally having answers for where their loved one has gone. I think it's amazing. Unsub from several creators. I just can't watch. I have two. I mean, it's sad, but Other than clip channels, there's just a handful that I'm subscribed to and that I watch religiously. I haven't really been, I mean, I subscribe and I have notifications, but I don't. It's weird, because the creators that I'm used to watching, the credible, reputable, here for the right reasons content creators are are just, you know, they're taking a break. They don't want to associate. I'm not sure what it is, but they'll occasionally come on and do a quick live stream or something, and then they're gone. But it's not usually a live stream about cases. There's tons of cases out there, so I have to just assume that they're taking a little break. I'm not sure, but I don't blame them either. I just don't. Is that a Michigan or Marshall t-shirt you're wearing? Just Marshall, Marshall University. I've always wanted to go visit the campus, and I have family that live down in West Virginia, pretty close to there, and so um, I may get to go visit the campus this year. We'll see. I'm not sure, but it's a campus I've always wanted to go visit. I've always wanted to visit. Speaking of true crime cases, I'm not a true crime content creator at all. Um, but my hometown, not where I live currently, but where I spent several years, um, there is a couple that's missing, and I've been following it. Let's see, I'm gonna be careful how I say this. I don't know the people personally. I know a family member, and some of my family members know the family members. I personally do not know them. Um, there's kind of some questionable, I don't want to say questionable, there's some questions that haven't been answered yet, and law enforcement is not is not answering a lot of questions yet. But I did call today and ask for any updates, and neither one of them have been found yet. So I took some photos. I'm doing the best I can with this. I'm gonna try to contact Tiffany and Gray and AB and see if maybe they can um, either kind of give me some direction or help me put the word out. If there's any clip channels in here, you're more than please take the photos and share them. Oh, here's emergency me.
Hey, my love.
Hey, sorry, I didn't see you pop up yet.
Oh, that's okay. Sorry it took me so long.
Oh, that's okay. I always love having you.
I don't know why.
Oh, are you serious? Come on. I love having you on panel. I like hearing
Oh,
people's opinions.
oh my gosh. I have too many.
Me too, sometimes. Sometimes they're not good. Yeah, it's been ugly. I have been finding myself doing a lot of other stuff, not YouTube related. God,
Yeah.
yesterday I went for a walk, I went for extra long walk. Today I did something kind of stupid.
What'd you do?
Um, well, I drink a 5 hour energy.
Oh,
I've never had a 5 hour energy. And I thought, why don't give me a little kick this afternoon? Holy crap. I can see four different directions. I can see in four different, I mean, I'm just like,
yeah.
if I seem like I'm all over the place, that's why. And I'll never drink another 5 hour energy ever as long as I live. Ever.
Yeah.
I will never do that again.
Yeah. I would drink those, like if I had to work a double.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, the
There's
worst part
something.
of those was the crash afterwards. Like
Ah,
oh my goodness. Yeah, that was, the only way to counteract the crash was to drink another one, and then that was just terrible.
Oh my
Like,
God.
no, never mind. That was a bad idea.
My brother told me earlier, he said, wait till the crash hits you. And I was like,
Yeah.
nah. I've never had, I don't think I've ever had a 5 hour energy. It was extra, it was 5 hour energy. Either said it's the 25% more, and then it either said max or it said something. I drank half of it, and then I don't know, like 30, 45 minutes later, I was like, I don't feel anything. So I drink the other half. I just wanted maybe just a little bit of extra energy. Like, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll never drink them again, ever. I mean,
Yeah.
I must just be a complete and utter lightweight because, wow, I have been bouncing off the walls, driving myself insane, crazy, all over.
Yeah.
And I went upstairs to my room, and I tried to lay down because I thought, this isn't gonna look good, live stream. People were like, what is she doing? I couldn't even lay. My feet are like, it's like, no, I have to get up. I
I'm gonna
couldn't
go
do it.
upstairs and lay down. That's not gonna
Yeah,
work.
not working, not working. I had a sandwich. Like, I don't. So the guys I work with, they would drink one. They would drink like three a day or something. I
Oh
never
my
knew that they were
goodness.
this potent, but holy shit.
Yeah.
If I
No.
had like heart problems or something, what the heck?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'll never do it again, ever. And I just came across it in a suitcase. I know that it was in the suitcase from a couple months ago, and I thought, just want a little bit of extra energy. Jesus Lord.
That's terrible.
I literally can see in four different directions. If a bird flew by me, I could catch it with my hand right now. Like some ninja stuff is gonna go down.
That's
Not getting
funny.
by me. So I hope that there's not some crazy crash, but after you said it and my brother said it, I'm kind of like, at least I'll get some good sleep, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
that
The
bad
crash
though,
is
really?
the crash. Yeah, like the crash for me was really bad. But
Oh gosh.
after I would drink one, I had the jitters. So I think I was super
Really?
sensitive too. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but that was just me. I always got the jitters with it. Um, and I could like feel it. It was like ramp, 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 and then like,
Yeah.
oh, like, nah.
Yeah. It was like somebody friggin' started up a two-stroke motor and said, here you go. And
Yeah,
I've been, just all day long. And I'm a super lightweight, and I don't drink alcohol or anything like that, and I try really hard to stay away from any kind of medication that's not natural. Um, Maybe I'm a lightweight. Those things are the devil. I don't
yeah,
know how some of those guys at work can they just chug them, they just chug them. Like
yeah.
I've sipped on a Red Bull before, and I drink coffee every morning, but holy crap! I hope there's not crack or anything in there.
Not that I'm aware of, because if there
I
was, I
mean,
would have been in trouble.
I mean, I hope not. It felt like something though. It was like my eyes. Listen, I wasn't even really super tired. I slept like 5 hours. I woke up first time, a long time that I didn't have a headache. My back wasn't killing me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a good day." And then, a couple hours went by, and I thought, "Well, I only slept a little bit." I thought, I came across the 5 hour energy, and I thought, I'll just try this and see how it goes. What was I thinking? I took it. I drank half of it, and then a little bit later, I drank the other half. Let me tell you, I was in the bathroom. What was I doing? Oh, I was getting ready to blow dry my hair. It was like my eyes opened up and the light came on. I looked around. I was like, whoa, everything is happening at once. The colors, and I don't know, I just felt full of energy. Like, I mean, I've been all over the place today. I just all over. I'll never do this again. Ever. Never.
Oh my gosh, that's
I can
funny.
see how people get addicted to these things, though. Guys at
Yeah,
work are like, I'm saving this to my desktop here so I can show it. I'm kind of nervous about doing this because I'm not a true crime creator. I don't want to be a true crime creator. But after, there's been no contact from the couple, and police are saying that they have no new information, no updates. I was asked if I could do anything to help, and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna send this to Tiffany. I'm gonna send it to Graham. I'm gonna send it to AB. I just feel bad that it's not quality content, but at the same point, I if anything I can do to help them be found, I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my camera off for a second while I check to make sure that that is downloaded okay. So I will be. I can still hear and talk and keep up with the chat. I'm kind of nervous about this. I don't want to do true crime stuff like this. I like having opinions. Okay, it is still downloading. How was your day today, Emergency Me? Fill me in.
Um, kind of uneventful. Nothing really going on over here with me and my family.
You were off today?
I was for Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so uh, so yeah, just hanging out with the family and um, just normal stuff for me. Um, so nothing really exciting on my end. Um, you know, my husband, doesn't really feel good. He has a headache, but you would have thought he popped his pancreas. So, um, you got that stuff going on.
Yeah, poor
Love him
men. They
dearly.
can't function. Can you imagine if they had to give birth?
Oh no.
God love them.
I got a
What
headache.
yeah, they're down for how long? A week?
Yeah. I was like, "Are you gonna get up?" He's like, "I got a headache." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Do you want some, Tylenol, ibuprofen, something?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay."
Flushing blue eye says, typical male.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was married once for a while. It was kind of the same thing. Like, flu, it's the end of the world. You're pregnant, getting ready to have go into labor, and they stub their toe, and you know what I mean.
Oh,
Great.
let me tell you a story about when I gave birth to my daughter. He had a toothache, and now tooth pain
Oh
is
my
like excruciating. Okay, but
God.
um, I just gave birth to our daughter, and I'm trying to like get like my Tylenol, you know, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
allergic to pain meds, so I can't take anything. But so I'm like trying to get my Tylenol from my nurse so that I can actually give it to my husband so that he can have it for his tooth pain. Um, and my nurse is like, goes to give it to me, and I know, but I know that they have to watch you take it, and so I'm trying to be sneaky, so that because I want to give it to my husband, and she's like, what are you doing? Take your med. I was like, oh, I'll take it here in a minute. And she's like, well, I've got to watch you take it. I'm like, oh no, it's okay. And she's like, no, I have to. I'm like, I know, but it's just it's just Tylenol. And she's like, no, I have to watch you. And I was like, well, let me be honest. My husband has a toothache, and I just want to give it to him. And she's like, sweetie, you had a baby. He's got toothache. He can leave and go. There's a Walgreens right across the street. He can go go get some Tylenol from across the street. I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't want to have to make him leave or anything. She's like, you are too good to him, too good. No, he can
Yeah.
go. She's like, he can go. It's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
that was the saddest thing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
She's like,
You
you
didn't.
just gave birth.
Yeah. He's got a toothache. Wow. Toothache.
Yeah, a toothache. I gave birth to a child.
Jeez. Was he how long did he cry? How long was he crying about it?
Oh, that whole time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was fine. Didn't have to go to the dentist or nothing. He was fine. He just had a tooth pain, but still.
Mm-mm-mm. Some of them are big crybabies. And then we raise them, Then we raise boys.
Yeah.
I remember, well, I don't want to say it. I remember saying, "You better knock that off. Like, rub some dirt in it." And then Cody would tell me that. He would tell me that. Be like, "My back hurts, kid." He's like, "Mom, rub some dirt in it. Tough dirt bike, mom." Okay, okay, I got you. Okay, I think I got this. I thought that I had it correct, but I didn't. So let me resave this. See how nervous I get about doing something like this?
You're fine.
I'm kind of like, it makes me nervous. I don't know. I have everything that they gave me, and I wish that I had more. Like I said, there's a couple of just strange things about it. 32 seconds is what it says. Is
Now I
everything
didn't.
I
I
have?
must have missed the beginning because I'm not exactly sure what you're going to be showing. What was it?
Okay. Um, so my hometown,
Okay.
not where I live at now, but where I lived for several years, where some of my family, some of my friends live. Um, I don't know the couple, but I have a family member and friends who know their family. And so there's two people that went missing a few weeks ago, and they've not been found. That no one's heard from them. So it's kind of a strange. I'm very familiar with the area, and it's kind of a there's a lot of questions. I mean, when I heard about it, I had somebody sent me an email, and then I looked it up, and hey, Valerie, sorry about that. I was getting um, a little screen slideshow ready, so I couldn't see chat, but I'm glad that you're here. Yeah, happy Labor Day to you too. Thanks for being here.
Hey,
But I found
Valerie.
out, yeah, I love it when people stop in. But I found out about it, and so I looked up the information. I looked through social media. I called people that I know, and they all know. Everybody knows that the couple is missing. I called law enforcement locally. They confirmed, yes, there's missing people's reports. They don't have any updated information. It's still being looked into. Um, and then I started kind of like diving around on social media and following some of the social media, and there are some questions. So that's why I was hesitant to say anything at first because I'm not sure. I'll show you what I mean instead of trying to explain it. That's why I'm
Okay.
kind of like nervous about saying anything. I mean, on one hand, there's a young couple that's missing. They have 4 children that are without their mom and dad. And so I don't have the answers to the questions. I only have the information that was sent to me that I was able, to verify,
Yeah.
as far as who they are, when they went missing, and that they are indeed missing, and that there is an investigation. Outside of that, police are not really saying anything, and neither is family really saying anything. So there's flyers up everywhere. Um, there's, there's a talk on Facebook, but people are starting to kind of question law enforcement and the family, like, hey, can you give us an update? And like nobody's talking. So that's the weird thing. I don't know what that means. I mean, I guess that could mean a plethora of different things. So I don't know, but I did call law enforcement today, and asked if there were any updates, if they were still missing, and the police department, I know the officer that I talked to, I lived there for a very long time, and so he said yes. He put me on hold, called the officer that's investigating and following leads, he said, and so they don't have. He didn't say that they don't have any information. He said there's nothing that they're going to update at this time. So it just makes me nervous a little bit, but at the same point, there's four kids that are missing their mom and dad. There's
Yeah.
two sets of parents that are missing their kids. So let me.
I mean, and obviously looking at it from both sides of the fence there, with an investigation,
Hmm.
um, they don't, law enforcement doesn't like to, even if they have information, they most likely aren't going to be releasing information out to the public, because they don't want to
Yeah.
compromise their investigation,
Right. Yeah.
or just because they don't have anything to release to the public. But at this, so there's that. Um,
Hmm.
if law enforcement's been talking to the family, they always advise family not to say anything to the public,
Hmm.
because it can jeopardize their investigation, or because they're not saying anything to the family, in regards to what they have or what they don't have, um, and those kinds of things, or they're just not talking, um, to the family,
Hmm.
because uh, they're doing like dual investigations on, like, if it's an accident, if it could be foul play, whatever they're doing, and they don't know
Hmm.
who players could be in that. So, and that's, again, that's just how the investigations work. Um, but that doesn't mean that there is foul play. That doesn't mean that there, isn't foul play. That's just how they do the investigation. So it,
Yeah.
um, and then how a lot of things. So it can be taken, how, from an outside perspective, not saying anything is saying something. But
Right.
at the
Right.
same time, when you're dealing with law enforcement or anybody who's investigating anything,
Hmm.
keeping everything close to the chest, um, is how they play things all the time.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
if there is anything to say, any detail that gets out
Hmm.
can make anything seem bigger or littler than it is. Or
Hmm.
if there is something that's sketchy at all,
Hmm.
could make whoever that could be involved in that, um, know it, they know it, and make them run, hide, or destroy any kind of evidence that there might be out there. And they're not going to want any of that information to be out. But I'm really interested to see what you have, about who these people are,
Yeah.
because I think that's, regardless of, you know, true crime and all of those kinds of things, getting
Hmm.
the information out to the public of who the people are, what's not like what happened, but their names, the details of like what they were, like the vehicle they were missing in, or any of those kinds
Yeah.
of things, to be on the lookout for every single detail on it. Now, when it comes to like speculative stuff that goes with it, I think
Hmm.
that's where the true crime community gets involved in it, and we run with that stuff, and
Yeah.
it becomes it gets to be a disaster in a lot of situations, because we get the opportunity to take our speculations, and without thinking all the way through a situation, we have an opportunity, without thinking it through, of ruining children's parents' lives.
Absolutely.
And
That's what I'm
there
afraid
are,
of with this.
yeah,
Mhm.
there are four innocent children that are involved in this, and their parents are missing. And so anything that
Absolutely.
anybody says in regards to this, there are four innocent children. And
Hmm.
nobody needs to destroy these four innocent children's lives.
Right.
So before anybody goes out and starts saying anything negative or disrespectful or speculative to these parents of what could, should, would happen to them, please remember at the end of the day, there's four innocent children here. There's family on both
Right.
sides of these parents that love them, care about them, and want nothing but them to come home safe and sound for their their selves, their son and their daughter, and they want them to come home safe to their kids. And their kids want nothing more than their mom and dad to be coming home. So do not ruin or tarnish them for their families.
Right.
And so
And
get the information out.
yeah, I mean, that's fine. I put it together. I verified it today. I called law enforcement and I thought the right thing to do is put their faces out there. My fear is that in this specific situation, um, there is both of them have a history with substance abuse, and it appears, I don't know this to be fact. I know people that know the family. Some of my family members and people that I used to be very good friends with know family members and know her. The girl's name is Jessica. And so it appears, I'm not saying this is truth, this is what I'm being told, and it's what it looks like on social media, is that one of their families, so the husband and the wife, it looks like one of their families is very supportive of their relationship and very concerned for their whereabouts. And the other family, I don't want to say appears like they don't care. I want to say it appears like there's a history of substance abuse, and that at the time of substance abuse, maybe there are family dynamics that separated them. And so they're not as involved publicly. That doesn't mean that they're not, you know, freaking out, scared to death, and side by side with law enforcement. So when I say I think that there's a potential for, people to start digging and whatever, because we have substance abuse and we have on social media what would look like a family who isn't concerned, then we know how that goes. You know what I mean? That just goes down this crazy road of conspiracy, insanity, and I don't want that to happen. But when I thought about it and I journaled about it, it was like the worst case scenario. Their names and their faces get out there, the vehicle gets out there, the story gets out there, and then they're found and they're brought home, and then they can answer questions for themselves. You know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
don't want to be I don't know. It's scary to do this because I'm not a true crime content creator. I don't ever want to be. And
Yeah.
so it's not like people share the information and they put it out there. They start digging um, and ripping it to shreds, and then they rip each other apart. And I don't
Yeah.
want to engage in that crap. So, but
Yeah.
the right thing to do is to put the information out there. So I finished downloading. Let me
Yeah, I
get it
mean,
up
putting it
here.
out there with love and respect to the family, to these people, and to the children is the right thing to do. Now,
Right.
if anybody else has intentions of doing harm from that,
Yeah.
all we can say is choose not to. Please
Right.
don't
Yeah. Please don't rip these
destroy,
people apart.
yeah, don't discredit these people in any way. They're missing. And if it was your family and your loved ones and your children's family in any
Right.
way, you would not want them to be discredited or torn apart in the process. It's
Right.
what's happening is done out of love and respect and hope that they're brought home safely
Right.
and in everything else. So
I
I
really never
think
even
that
thought about. that even happening until the stuff with, the last 2 days with Kylie Rodney's
Oh, absolutely.
situation. I thought
And
there are no limits or boundaries.
yeah, I mean, but I mean, as we are all well aware, not everybody on on this platform has intentions of well, and that needs to stop. It has to
Hmm.
stop. And any and all of those creators need to stop it, because you're not only affecting the 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 victims of these crimes, and not saying that in this situation that this is a crime, but you have to take in consideration the victim of the crime, but also their family members that are involved of the situation, and the lifelong journey that they have to take with the circumstance, and you're tearing them and their memories of this person into shreds. And
Absolutely.
they want to do is remember the good times, not the bad times, not the disgraceful times, not any of that. And you do not tarnish a person's memory. You do not do it. You don't have the right to do it, because you would not want somebody else to tarnish your memory of your loved one.
Yeah, I guess I agree.
There's a
We're gonna
golden rule,
see how
and
it
I don't know where
goes.
it got lost along the way on this platform. You know,
I don't
do unto
either.
others as you would want them to do unto you. It's a golden rule.
Right, which means not taking. Yeah. Oh man, I could say so much. I
Yeah.
could say so much. So I put. I'm gonna share this, and I'm gonna take my time with each screen. If everybody wants to screenshot it and share it, I mean, I appreciate it greatly. I'm not a professional at this. I contacted that number that you see there in yellow and talked to, officer today, and this is everything that's on here is factual to the best of what he was able to tell me. I found some of it you'll see through social media posts and whatnot. Um, sorry, I needed a drink of something. Um, I want to show kind of a map after this to just kind of show the area. Um, are you ready? If I go too fast, emergency me, will you stop me? Tell me to slow down
Yeah.
or something? Because I'm
And
super nervous right now for some reason.
yeah, just from the very beginning, can we put some like hearts and some prayer hands or something in the chat for Jason and Jessica, please?
Absolutely. That would be amazing. Thank you. You know, I don't like that anytime people hear history of substance abuse, it automatically turns into let's treat these people differently. I don't want that to happen. These people have 4 babies. They have turned their lives around. They are good people. They have been clean and healthy for a period of time. They have 4 beautiful babies, and you'll see the pictures that I found most recent on social media versus the pictures in which I'm not showing pictures from when they were involved in substance abuse. I think that's disrespectful. But if anybody goes, digging into this, they'll see that they are completely different in appearance. Family members and friends have said that they have gone through their counseling. They still go to counseling. They're involved with church. They are, a normal couple. They have arguments and disagreements, but um, none of their friends, and friends would be the most honest, I feel like, none of their friends have said, excuse me, that they have any concern about, drug abuse. Again, I don't know what family would say, like I said, um, but regardless of substance abuse, they're human beings. They have babies, and something you'll see is something is wrong. So thank you for the prayers and the hearts. I greatly appreciate it very much, and remember them in your prayers tonight. Um, I'm gonna start. Emergency me, you got me, right?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. I've never done this before. Jason Pugh and Jessica Pugh, husband and wife, last seen July 30th, 2022. The state is Ohio. The city is Willard. County is Huron. It's north central Ohio. Almost right on the lake, right on Lake Erie. Willard Police Department, and the contact number is there, 419-933-2561. Jason is 35, Jessica is 32. Last seen July 30th, 2022, by their neighbors exiting their apartment, leaving together in their 2009 Ford F-150 extended cab truck, white in color. I have pictures um, coming up. I put this together quick. Several days before the last known sighting of the two by the neighbors are the last people to have seen them leaving and getting in the truck and pulling away. So several days before that, Jason had posted the white 2009 Ford F-150 for sale using local garage sale sites, Facebook, and things like that. Jason had received several messages between various online sites inquiring about the sale, and it is possible he had set a time to show the truck to a potential buyer. However, law enforcement would not confirm this. Family, two family members, and I think two or three friends through text messages had confirmed that they had dropped the kids off to one of the parents, I believe Jessica's mother, and they were taking the truck to a town called Norwalk to a grocery store, and they were meeting up with a potential buyer at that store. So it's a it's a truck. They have four children, and so there was also social media posts, and one of the family members, excuse me, of Jessica said that the kids were already planning on going to Jessica's mother's house, so their grandmother's house, to spend the day, and so that could have been why they scheduled it for that day. But law enforcement has not confirmed that they have information that they were meeting a potential buyer. But the family, a couple of family members and a couple of friends of Jason's had all said the same thing. So Jason and Jessica both have a substance abuse battle in their past. According to people very close to them, they both have been living healthy for several years now. They have custody of their kids. They live on their own. They have a beautiful home. Jason and Jessica have four very young children who thankfully were spending the day with a family member. Children are safe with family and also missing their mommy and daddy. If you have seen Jason or Jessica, or the vehicle last seen in, which I'm going to show you pictures, please call the Willard Police Department at 419-933-2561. I call Willard Police Department a couple times a week, but I'm also monitoring Facebook, and then I have a family member who is pretty good friends with a family member, and so I'm getting updates from that person. So as I get updates, I'll update these. So the Mackenzie Doubt, you say that Doubt is um, a family member, a very close family member to Jessica. And so this is a Facebook post. This is a comment to a Facebook post where she explains the family honestly has done more than the police have. And I hate putting this out there because I just don't agree with talking negatively about the police department, but I feel like it's important. Whether it's true or not, it's how they feel. And so I thought maybe it would be best to add this. Family honestly has done more than the police has. Jason and Jessica both have a past with drugs, so they're treating this as, quote, they're just another addict, quote. Many family members have called in with information. I have the serial number for the van. I'll explain that, and other information, and no calls have been returned from the Willard PD. I guess we will physically have to go to the station to get any words from them. Ridiculous and pathetic. Honestly, they can't just check in. Wait, ridiculous and pathetic, honestly. They can't just check in. It just seems like they're not concerned with their well-being and kind of leaving us hanging with everything. I mean, I filed the missing persons report almost 5 days ago and haven't got one call or any other family member from the PD. Um, this post is obviously um, about 3.5 weeks ago, and when she mentions the van and serial numbers, so originally, whenever they filed the report, they didn't know if they were in the white truck or if they were in the van last. They didn't know if maybe the white truck had been sold, and so they left in the blue van. They have a blue minivan. So there was question on if they had sold the white, if Jason and Jessica had sold the white truck, and so then they would have left in the blue van, or what was what. So the family members had, done some digging to try to find serial numbers and plate numbers and things like that. The van had been parked further down the road by Jessica because they were washing the truck, and I'm not sure the other reasons. I'm going to show you the road. There's not a whole lot of parking, so it's possible that the van was parked further down the road because other neighbors had, visitors or something like that. So I don't know this to be fact. This is my opinion. The family kind of couldn't get a hold of them, called them and called them and called them and couldn't get hold of them. So then they drive over to the apartment. They didn't see the van. They panicked. They went to the police department, and then they were told not to go back to the apartment. The police, were going to do a welfare check. So it was several days later the police and the family members gathered over there, and then one of the neighbors said, "No, the blue van is down there." And then that's when law enforcement told the two, one sister and a mom and a dad of one of them, that she had parked the van down there and that they had left in the white truck. So then all of that was confirmed, and I think you'll get a little more understanding with this. I know I'm super nervous. I'm probably all over the place, and I don't like doing this. All of
You're
these
doing just
photos,
fine. You're doing just fine.
thank you. I feel like I'm gonna puke. All of these photos are the most recent photos that are on both one or both of their social medias. So they're not old photos. Um, this is one of the flyers that was going around social media. Um, Jessica was last seen leaving her apartment complex in Willard with her husband, Jason Pugh. So this is Jessica's family that went, made up the flyers and was posting them everywhere and all over social media. Jason's family didn't really get involved immediately. And like I said, from what I understand, I have no way to confirm this, but from what I understand, Jason is a little bit estranged from his family because of substance abuse years ago. I can't confirm that, but if you look through social media, it kind of looks that way. So this is Jessica's family. Um, so she was last seen leaving her apartment complex in Willard with her husband. Jason's family also has not seen or heard from him since July as well. Last known vehicle they were driving confirmed is the white 2009 F-150 truck, long bed with a large Harley Davidson sticker on the back windshield. I don't see, this is her sister that made these flyers up. I don't see these two just not coming back to their 4 children. Someone has to know something. I redacted names. So this was posted all over social media. This was, I caught this one and it had actually been posted to someone's Facebook account. So I just took the name out because it's not relevant. When the police entered into the home on 8/16/22 after 2 failed welfare checks, everything was left behind. Please keep a lookout. I don't know if you can see that bottom line or not. It says, please keep a lookout. So I just redacted the name of the person. And so here's um, photos of the truck. And I got these photos from the listing that Jason had made on the social media and other online for sale websites. One of them was Facebook. These are the apartments. I'll show you on a map so that you can see a little better. These are the most recent photos that I could find of them. So Jason and Jessica, and then I enlarged her tattoo because I feel like it's pretty unique and significant. She can't, it can't really be hidden. A beautiful couple. I mean, clearly they've been through a lot, but they deserve justice. They deserve to be home with their kids if at all possible. These are all photos over the last, I think, 2, maybe 3 years. And Jason's weight, he's slowly kind of put some weight on. Jessica's hair color and length has changed. I think she's, a typical young mom and wife. She changes her hair a little bit here or there. Thank you, empath. Sorry, I'm not ignoring chat. I'm just super nervous. I don't want to mess this up. Um, Let me show the photos again. These were, I believe, a couple of months before they went missing, but I'm not positive. Jason always has facial hair. He always has a beard and the mustache. What do you call that? Um,
Like a
I'm
goatee.
not. Yeah, but I think his beard is a little more full than a regular goatee. I'm not sure if there's a name for that or not. But in every photo, he has facial hair. In every photo, Jessica is um she's done up, she has her makeup on, she's presentable, she's beautiful, she's absolutely beautiful. Here's the truck. I wish that I had a plate on it, but when he listed it for sale, he didn't list the front, probably because or the back, probably because he didn't want to show um the license plate. And the tattoo, it's a skull with flowers and I believe that's like a leopard print or something on top of it. This was her hair color at the time that she was last seen by the neighbors. Dark with a little bit of, I guess you would call auburn highlights and a little caramel undertone. And then Jessica with longer hair, him with shorter facial hair. Jessica with shorter hair, curly, and then pulled up, and then backwards hat. I saw a lot of pictures of him with a backwards hat. They're super active. There's tons of photos of them with their kids visiting um, amusement parks, Cedar Point, the lake, at the beach. There's tons of family photos. So I didn't want to put any photos of the kids. This in the bottom right hand corner was actually taken from one of the kids' graduation, some type of summer camp or something like that. It looked like, but I'm not positive. So, and this bottom left was another one of the more recent photos. So it looks like he maybe, trims his facial hair and then lets it grow a little bit and then trims it, but it's never really long and it's never gone. So let me pull up the map here real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay. Does anybody want me to show any of that again, in case anybody wanted to copy it or clip it or anything like that? I mean, I can play it through without talking through it. And we will have their laptop and we'll be able to trace any potential buyer or significant correspondence, hopefully. I believe so. I hope. Um, From what I understand, their phones were not there, but yes, all electronic devices were taken. And I don't think that law, I mean, I don't want to say this. I'm not family. This isn't my family that's missing. You know what I mean? I care about these people because I just care about people. Um, I don't like that the family kind of feels like they're not really being taken serious at the same point. I don't know how I would feel, if I reported, my sibling or my daughter, I don't understand. I mean, I don't know what it's like to kind of be in their situation, and I don't want to pretend that I do. Um, from what I understand, law enforcement is just being very quiet. They're just not confirming or denying anything right now. I, that's all I know. I mean, they did tell me that they're not, that they have no updates and that they are still missing.
Okay,
So,
so I have a question.
yes.
The family was able to find the VIN number for this van that was still at the apartment.
Either
Did
the
they?
family member or law enforcement. One, I'm not sure who. I don't know if it was that the family found it and then gave it to law enforcement, or if law enforcement had it and then used the VIN to confirm that it was their van.
Okay, were they
Because it
not
was,
able to do that for the F-150?
no, the F-150 is missing with them.
Yeah, so but they weren't able to.
Oh,
You would think that law enforcement would at least release the license plate number for the F-150 that they're in currently, um, for like a
right.
flyer or something like that, because that would be pertinent information, like
Hmm.
their descriptions, the vehicle that they're in, the license plate number to the vehicle that they're in. I mean, at least that vehicle that they're missing from, so that if, let's say, because the last story is that they were potentially selling that vehicle. So let's say, and again, that story is at this point not confirmed or denied by anybody at this point. So let's say they did sell that vehicle, um,
Hmm.
and that vehicle is now on the road by a different owner. Okay,
Hmm.
and they didn't have a ride back to their home. Let's just say, okay,
Hmm.
um, and something happened from when they sold the vehicle back to their home. Uh, the person that they sold that vehicle to would be the last person to see them. Let's say that vehicle is now missing, so we're need to know where that vehicle is if they're not in that vehicle. So we need to be looking for that vehicle also. So we need to know the plate number on that vehicle, the VIN number on that vehicle. We need to know all of those things so that if it's not with them and it's with somebody else, uh, if anybody tries to register that vehicle, somebody, sees that vehicle on the road, we need to know a plate number to be looking for. If it's going to be registered someplace else, and we need to know the VIN number for it so that if it gets caught up and it's brought up, all of those kinds of things. So I think it would be pertinent information for that to be at least released by law enforcement, or if family has that information, it needs to be put out, because we need to be looking for that specifically, because if either they're in that vehicle and we need to be looking for it, or it's sitting somewhere and we need to be on the lookout for it specifically.
Right. Um, there's a couple of posts online that have the license plate number added to a description of the truck. And I asked law enforcement if they could confirm that that is the license plate number. And the officer that I talked to put me on hold and contacted the officer that's investigating the missing persons report. And he said, when he came back on the line, he said that he could not or would not. I don't know which one he said. He either said I can't or I won't, or I'm not able to. He either said I can't or I'm not able to confirm if that's the license plate number. And I said, I asked him if it was, if it was not to be talked about, not to be released or anything like that. And he said that he didn't have the answers, but that the flyers and the information does not have the license plate on the truck. So I didn't add it because I saw it in a couple of posts. But again, I couldn't find any photos that showed the license plate number. And like I said, there's a couple of things that are weird that are,
Yeah, that's definitely not
yeah,
on you. That's definitely,
right. And it
I
threw
mean, in
me
my
off.
opinion, yeah, that's in my opinion, that's definitely something that law enforcement should be releasing.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, that's definitely on them. Uh, that's you know,
It's weird.
that's yeah, that's with a missing or endangered person.
Hmm.
In any case, that's pertinent information to be released out to the public because of um, they were last seen in that
Right.
vehicle.
And it's weird.
Um,
I mean, it's the license plates, the identifying,
yeah,
information on it. I mean,
license
that.
plate, VIN number, whatever it is. I mean, let's say
Hmm.
they left they took the license plate off the vehicle. Let's just say that's part of it. Because there was a potential buyer. Now, I wouldn't understand why anybody would remove a license plate because whatever. But let's say the potential buyer said that they had their own license plate. Let's say it was a dealer or something like that, that they were just, you know, who knows. And they were taking the vehicle to like sell it to a dealer and exchange it, do an exchange for it.
Hmm.
Um, then maybe that would be like a circumstance. Who knows? Again, I'm putting in speculation here, but which I don't want
It's
to
very
do.
weird. It had me confused for a couple of days. Now with the van, they also didn't release any information about the van. All they said was that the van is not in the van is not in question. They're not looking for the van. They know where the van's at. It was down the road. But they didn't. There's a lot of stuff that they're. I don't want to say this the wrong way. Um, it's almost like you've got one family that is, extremely active and involved, and then you have another family that is kind of silent, and then you have law enforcement that's playing go between. Maybe I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
then all of a sudden, the family that was super involved, they have since been pretty silent on social media. They were posting and posting and posting, putting it out there and putting it out there, and asking everyone to share the flyers and share this and share that, um, and now that's not happening. And so, like I said, it's very confusing. I wish I had more answers, but I went straight to
yeah,
law enforcement, and
yeah. I mean,
I
and they're
know
like,
several of the police officers. I know them personally. I
yeah,
have, I've known them for years. I went to school with some of them, and I'm not sure what is going on, and I don't want to speculate. I mean, it could be anything. This is not any town that's any different than anywhere else.
yeah.
There's good and bad.
Oh, of course. Yeah, but my other thing with like selling the vehicle, if they had two vehicles, both vehicles were running. It's very, very common for people to sell one vehicle. But how would they, if they were selling the truck
Hmm.
and they had the van and it was being sold, then wouldn't one person be driving the F-150, the other person be driving the van because they would need a ride home?
Now, this I might have an answer for. I don't
Okay.
know this to be true. Might have an answer for this. There's a lot of people in this area where I used to live at that they rely heavily on the online, like Facebook social media, or I'm sorry, Facebook garage sale sites, and things like that, which I always
Uh-huh.
thought was super cool. I've used them a lot too. I had an old car that I had listed on one of the sites. And so if they did what I did, I had people curious about it, asking, they would comment, they would, what is it, post underneath of the ad, specific questions. If somebody was truly interested, they sent me a private message and they were interested. They had figured out, or shoot, see, I'm stumbling over my words because I'm just like not good at this. They had contacted insurance, and they had financing, or they had the money or whatever. What I did is I would drive it to a very public place. Most of the time, I went to the police department or the fire department. I'm not gonna lie, and they would test drive it, look it over, that kind of thing. Because most people don't buy right on the spot. They want to look it over, they want to drive it, kind of thing. So I don't know this to be true, but what I'm thinking is that they went to this location and they met up potentially. If this whole theory that they were meeting with a potential buyer of the vehicle, to me, being from this area for a long time, knowing people that still live in this area, it makes sense to me that they would meet up at a local grocery store the next town over. Willard is not a big town by any means. Norwalk is a bigger town, and that's generally where people go for like groceries and things like that. So it makes sense to me that they would meet at a public place, and then if somebody shows up to look at the vehicle, they're in a public place, it's daylight, and so they show the vehicle, maybe more than one person. I don't know. But then chances of somebody buying it on the spot, I mean, I've never seen that. I I see the same vehicles get shown to a couple of different people or various people before they're actually purchased. My uncle owns a car lot in this town, and so he told me if you're going to sell something and you don't want to bring it up here, go to a public place, let somebody look it over. If they don't have cash on hand, drive the vehicle back home. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
assuming that maybe that's what they did and they went together because the kids, are at grandma's house. But you could also be right. It could be that they never went to meet up with anybody at all.
Yeah.
That could be a theory.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
not sure.
I definitely don't want to get into like those kinds of things, but if that was a,
And it would make sense for her to drive just in case somebody did buy it. But again, I would
yeah,
think if somebody was serious on buying it, and they're communicating by text or phone or whatever, the guy would, or the person who's going to look at the truck would probably say, I have cash on hand, if it's what you say it is, I'll buy it now, you know kind of like a preparation for that. I'm not sure. I wish I knew, but nobody is
yeah,
really talking. Nobody
yeah,
is confirming anything. This theory, or this family members and friends believe that this is true based on text messages that they have from Jason saying that that's where they were going and what they were doing. That they were going to go to this grocery store and meet, somebody that was going to look at the truck, and then nobody heard from them since.
yeah. Okay.
I know there's so many things about this that do not make sense. That's why I was hesitant at all. It,
Yeah.
there's so many. I've never seen Willard Police Department. They're good. They're good cops. We don't have any of that crazy stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a very small town. Um, can you see this map? Okay.
Yeah. I can see it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still asking questions. I'm still trying to find out, and I just wish they would. You know, I wish they'd be more forthcoming. So Ohio here. This is Huron County, Willard. Just want to show the route that they would have driven, and um, or potential route that they would have driven. So they lived on West Sandusky Street. Oh my gosh, I've seen Gray do this so many times. I should know what I'm doing with this, right? Oh no, crap. You wouldn't believe this, but I was just, there we go, at Street View. Okay, so this is West Sandusky Street. It's a one-way, or I'm sorry, one road, and it dead ends. So this is the way in, this is the way out. dead ends down here. From what I understand, and I wish there was a way to, you know, have law enforcement or somebody say, yep, 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 but they're not going to. From what I understand, they lived in one of these apartments right here. This is one of these apartments is theirs. And so when I said that the van was parked down the road and one of the neighbors, the neighbors could have had friends over or whatnot, meaning there's like one spot or maybe two spots for each apartment. And so the van was parked down here along this roadway. So there's this apartment complex, and then there's this apartment complex, and then there's another one down there. So they said third from the rear. So somewhere behind these trucks, because there might be another set down here. Yeah, one, two, three. So the van would have been parked somewhere in through here, and then they're the first white apartments. There's the beige apartments. This on the corner is a church. So there's two beige, and then they're separate owners. One person owns those, and then another person owns all of these. So with the van being way down there, I mean, it made sense to me, I guess, that, the family can't get hold of them. They're calling, they can't find them, that kind of thing. So they come over, they're knocking on the doors are locked. They don't see the van, they don't see the truck. So they go up to the police department, they make a report, and then law enforcement tells them they're going to do a welfare check and not to go back. It's a couple days later before family shows up. Now, I don't know if law enforcement knew before family, if family knew before law enforcement. I don't know how that worked out, but when the law enforcement shows up to do a welfare check, they talk to neighbors. Neighbors say, we saw them leaving this date at this time. This is what they're wearing. This is the vehicle that they got in. I don't know if the van came into question then, or if the family after that, went back over there and drove around and started talking. But it was a few days before anyone said, hey, the van's parked down there. The van's not gone too, which, kind of didn't make a whole lot of sense to me either. But I don't want to say that because I've never been in this situation before. I hope that makes sense because I kind of feel like an asshole just saying that. I totally do. Totally feel like an asshole saying that. I mean, I'm not speculating in any fashion here. There's things that don't make sense, and I wish I had answers for them, but I don't. So according to friends of Jason, who said that text messages said that they were meeting at a store called Aldi's in Norwalk. So it's about 27, 28 miles, depending on which way they went. Most people go this way, State Route 61. This little road here, I don't think I've ever been on. I think it's hit or miss. I'm not sure. State Route 99 kind of goes way out of the way. Most people go State Route 61, but they could have went anyway. Norwalk is quite a bit bigger, and Aldi's is kind of like right in the middle of town. And I have no idea if, anybody has looked for cameras. I don't know anything. Law enforcement is not talking. Nobody is talking about this. But this is where the text messages to his friends say that they met, that they went to meet up at, was this parking lot somewhere. And then they've never been seen since. There's a McDonald's, T-Mobile. I was thinking that I know that there's cameras on this Eagles club. Where is it at? Maybe it's not there anymore. I thought that there was a State Highway Patrol office sitting somewhere through here, but it must not be there anymore. See, I haven't been in this area for a while, so I'm not super familiar with what's there and what's not there. But there did used to be like a station, a state highway patrol office. It was very small. The main office is just outside of town on 250, but they did have a little a station on the inside or like in town here. There'd be two officers or two vehicles. I don't know what they did, but I don't see it there anymore. Let's see, from the grocery store. That's what I was trying to figure out when I first started looking at this. So it was over here in one of these buildings. Here's the Walmart. So it was one of these Avenue. It was somewhere in through here. It might have been one of these little buildings. I'm not sure. It's not there anymore. That's all I got, guys. I'm sure that this was not nearly as put together as, Gray Hughes does, but at
Now,
least
how far is that Aldi's from the lake?
from the lake. Let's see. So Lyman Avenue in Norwalk. Let's go Sandusky.
Like the nearest boat ramp or something?
Let's see. What is the name of it? Hold on a minute. I'll click on it and tell you. See how nervous I get? The nearest boat ramp would be here on Nickel Plate. Beulah Beach. Minnewaga. Yeah, it's gonna be Nickel Plate Beach. Type that in. There's a boat ramp there. The others are the campsites. I don't think that there's any boat ramps there. I think that they're closed. Oh. 19, 20 miles. It's a hop, skip, and a
Okay.
jump. 250.
Okay.
That's a 4-lane, sometimes 6-lane highway. The other thing too is Toledo. So I hope I'm not boring everybody to death.
Not me.
Good. I'm glad. I suck at this. I don't know how true crime creators do this. Cedar Point is a huge amusement park. It's kind of
Yeah.
like Six Flags. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's kind of like Six Flags or Thank You, Nana Five. I just love you. I got you. Feeding but listening. Thank you. Lisa 54 says this is the hardest case I've ever been into. I think of Summer daily. I do too. I do too. Poor Summer. And all the stuff that's gone on with it has made me extremely mad. And Pat Tessa is so sad for their kids. I agree. 100%. I agree. That's the reason that I kind of said, you know what, I can't get all the information, but I can at least put their faces, their names in the area, and what I do know to be as true as I could, fact check. The story about, the theory about going to meet somebody for the truck. Like I said, I have no way to completely confirm that, but according to friends and a couple family members, they have text messages that all say the same thing. I haven't seen them, but the person that's giving me the information wants them to be found and has passed out flyers and whatnot. So I don't know what's true and what's not other than what I showed you on that screen. Ellie will have their laptop and stuff. I just wanted to check with comments here real quick because I felt like I was not
Ignoring them.
following up with them. Yeah, and I don't
Yeah.
want to do that ever, ever. See,
Yeah,
this is hard.
ever.
I don't know how these true crime people do this. Thank you, Nana5. I appreciate it. Hopefully, all cameras in that vicinity will have been checked. I hope so, because one, I'm really, really hoping so. I have not been up there in that area for quite a while, so I'm not super familiar with what's there and what's not. But it is a very public area. I mean, like all the grocery stores are there, the banks are there, the fast food places are there, State Route 250, State Route 61, 13, all of them collide in that little area. So to me, it's a safe and smart area. You know, if you are going to go meet somebody to potentially look at a vehicle, that's a really safe area. Tiny Tumbleweed said you were doing great. Just a few peeps chatting here. How far from Cleveland? My oldest son just moved there. Oh, really? Let's see. So Norwalk to Cleveland. Oh, yeah, this was gonna what I was gonna show you. So in the grand scheme of things, you've got Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Lake Erie. So Huron County is kind of, oh, that's where Cody's buried. I can't believe that's highlighted. Sorry. Huron County is kind of, right in the center of Ohio. And so it's about equal distance from Toledo to Cleveland. I think Cleveland may be um, maybe 40, 50 miles further, but to drive from, from Huron County, from Willard to Cleveland, you're looking at about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Um, Toledo is a very big city that has been a lot of criminal activity and things like that. Do you know why they were selling their truck? That I do not know. One family member had said that because they have four kids that were, um, two of them were in car seats, one or two of them were still in car seats, and the other two were not. The van was not in the best shape, so they wanted to sell the truck and then get an SUV. That is what one family member had said. The other family member had said that he wanted a new truck. So I'm not sure, but you know, they both had been employed at the same place for quite a while. They afforded, their own. They actually, before they moved into this apartment, they had a really nice house. I had been told, but I don't know if it's, 100% true or not, that they sold the house that they were living in and they were considering purchasing land and building. And so that's why they were in the apartment. I'm not sure about that. I don't know, but I did find the truck listing on the local garage sale sites, and that's where I got the photos from. And if anybody wants to share any of this, I can send the screenshots and stuff of the actual photos, or I can send you links to it or whatnot. Columbus is about 2 hours away. Toledo is about an hour away, and then Cleveland is about an hour and a half, an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, depending on traffic. Cedar Point is I mean, summertime, we're talking this is in not the hardest summer. And so we call it the summer season. So there's tons of people that come up on the lake and they're all along the lake. There's campsites, there's seasonal housing, they own condos, whatever, up on the lake. And then you've got Dearborn, Michigan and Detroit that are an hour and 15 minutes. I mean, I remember as a teenager, for my 18th birthday going to Canada, and it was like 3.5, 4 hours. We went to Ontario, Canada. So it's kind of it's an area for travel. I'll say that. There's a lot of interstates and things that come through here. I just can't imagine overcoming something like substance abuse, getting yourself back together, you know, um, and keeping yourself together. You know what I mean? Like that's a fight. That's a daily fight, from what I understand. And so they have four healthy kids. They themselves appear to be very healthy. I asked the friends that I know that know them that know them personally, that hang out with them, because I feel like friends would know before family would know if there was any potential for substance abuse, to be an issue again. And the people that I directly asked, they said absolutely not. They're healthy. They are a normal couple. They don't scream and fight. They don't carry on. They have arguments, but they're a really happy couple, and they have their kids. They have custody of all four of their kids. Her family is a big support system for them. I don't know a lot about his family, but it's just strange. And you know what it reminded me of, Emergency? Do you remember the case a few years ago? It was very similar to this. There was a guy that listed his truck for sale, and the guy was married. He owned a vehicle, listed it for sale. Two guys came to his house to look at the truck, and then I'm not sure exactly how it happened, but the truck was stolen. The guy was murdered, and I'm gonna have to look that case up now. Do you
I
remember
don't
that? Because
remember that.
that's
It, it sounds familiar. I just can't place it.
I'm gonna look it up right now because I mean, it was a, it had my attention for a while, but it's been so long, I just can't remember.
Yeah, I can't
Um,
place it.
let's see. Yeah, there was like an incinerator or something like that. That was, hey, sweet tea.
Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. Oh, wow. I can't think of the name.
I can't either, and I felt terrible because I followed that case.
Yeah, me too.
And
There's just so
but
many.
this put me in the mind of that.
Yeah. Oh, oh, that's gonna bother me.
I think it's called an incinerator. I'm not sure, but um,
Was it a Canadian case?
I think it was. I think it
Oh,
was. Hold on a second.
oh my
I know I have
goodness.
something saved. Um, Tim Basma,
Yes.
and it was yeah, out of Canada. It was hold on a second. Waterloo, Ontario. It
Yeah.
was in 2016. Yeah. Dellen Millard was arrested. Oh, it was in
Yeah.
2013. 2016 was when he was when his trial was, I believe. And the reason that I knew anything about it was because it was, if I remember, Cody passed away in 2016, so things like that caught my attention.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why I followed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um the whole thing went down on an airplane hangar, right?
I just pulled it up. It says, I do remember something about a hangar. I know this is but this is what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
What Tiny Tumbleweed? It was Waterloo, Ontario. Sweet tea. Um,
I wasn't even looking at chat. Hey
I'm gonna
everybody.
read it. Okay, this was an update in 2017. It says a murder that shocked a nation. Tim Bosma, Bosma, church-going husband and young father, had gone on a test drive with two men who said they wanted to buy his truck. Dellen Millard, Millard, and Mark Smich, Smich, were later found guilty of his murder. What happened that fateful spring night with witnesses who spoke for the first time, never seen footage. Wait, hold on a minute. I think that's an ad. I'm sorry. Millard was charged with first-degree murder in the deaths. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. Don't kill me. Here we go. This was Waterloo, Ontario, up in Canada. Okay, here we go. Scratch that last 3 minutes. Aviation Air, Dellen Millard stole a Bobcat tractor and a Harley Davidson motorcycle for the thrill of it. His friend Andrew Mykowski testified Thursday at the trial of the two men accused of killing Hamilton man Tim Bosma. Testifying in Superior Court in Hamilton for a third day, Mykowski, 26, who was from, oh my gosh, I'm going to butcher this, Etobickoke, Ontario. I'm not going to try that. Told the jury that he probably would have started stealing things if not for the influence of Millard. He would not have started stealing things if not. I guess I felt safe around him. I can't explain it. Okay, Millard, 30, of Toronto, and Mark Smitch, 28, of Oakville, Ontario, are charged with first-degree murder and Bosma's death. Both have pled not guilty. Bosma, 32, who lived in the suburban Ancaster area of Hamilton, vanished on May 6, 2013, after taking two men on a test drive in a pickup truck he was trying to sell. Investigators later found charred human remains believed to belong to Bosma in a livestock incinerator on Millard's farm in Waterloo, Ontario. Mikowski, who court heard was also arrested in connection with Bosma's death but wasn't charged, testified that he lied in statements he made to police in order to protect Millard. The jury heard that Mikowski lied for 60 pages of his 90. Hold on, let me get to the details. An admission that he stole a pickup truck on May 6th, the same day Bosma disappeared. You were out to protect Millard because of this hold he had on you, this bonding, this persona. You lied. I'm sorry. Let me get to the details. I don't want the gross details, but let's see. There's a backpack full of drugs from Millard's home. Millard had given Hagerman a locked toolbox and um, oh my gosh, this is like details. So they took him for, okay, so the two guys went to his house so that they could test drive his truck, and he went with them while they drove the truck with his gun. And one of them had a gun and a backpack full of drugs. So they were test driving the truck with him in it, and they murdered him, and then they used the incinerator. Wow. Here's the messages. Ontario Police forensic computer analyst Michael Ryder took the jury through a series of messages found on an iPad and BlackBerry. So they were asked about these messages. And one message that the Crown alleges is from Millard, dated April 27th, reads, "Headed to Waterloo. Figure out barbecue situation for this week." The jury has previously heard that Millard referred to the incinerator in which human remains were found as the barbecue. Oh my gosh. Jury also saw messages sent to and from the iPad on the day Bosma disappeared. One incoming was from 7:36, just over an hour before Bosma was last seen, that read ETA 8 p.m. A photo of a gun was also found on the BlackBerry, while a Google search from May showed rounds for 9mm was found on the iPad. And the rest of it is just very graphic, and I would rather not. I will put the link to this article in the chat.
Yeah, I
Because
remember watching the his interrogation.
I don't know if I saw that or not, but I did see a lot of the trial, and I'm telling you, whenever I was emailed this and I looked online. No, I looked online and then I emailed somebody and then they sent me information about it. I just happened to scroll through Facebook and saw that, people that I knew were sharing these posters and stuff. But as I was hearing about it, I thought, oh my gosh, that this is what it reminded me of. One of those cases or um, one of those cases where people are like, no, that's never gonna happen. It's a worst case scenario, or that's not gonna happen because it sounds like something that would never happen.
Yeah.
But it was very troubling.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Um,
I think that's that was, it never ceases to amaze me what like one person will do to another person, or like that group mentality. of things.
Mm-hmm.
But like a group of people, when they get together and their minds collaborate and what they will collectively do evilly to a
Yeah.
person. It never, I mean, it
Gosh.
never ceases to amaze me. I mean, it disgusts me to no end, but it just, I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Like we went there. Okay. So,
Yeah. It's,
wow.
and I hope not. See, now I feel like a complete jerk
No.
because you know what? I'm gonna put it in the. I don't like doing that because that's like insinuating. That doesn't feel right. I'm gonna put it in the description. If anybody, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because I don't want to associate something that horrible. See how I went off left field? When I heard
Well,
about this, it reminded me of that, and that's why I felt that's the only reason that I felt like the right thing to do was to just put the names and the faces out there and what I know to be true as far as the vehicle and you know um was because it reminded me of that case.
no, I mean, I get it. The
But I don't want to like I don't want to associate the two because to
correlate
me
it.
that
Yeah.
sounds like, it sounds like I'm
That's what happened. That's what
yes,
happened.
and
No,
I'm not saying that at all.
yeah, no. I think, I think anybody with, you know, can understand that it's two separate situations,
Yeah.
and
It made
some,
me feel urgent. Like I verified with police what I could and that they're still missing and nobody's heard from them. It's still being investigated, blah 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 blah. And when as soon as that the Bosma case, entered, it just sounded again like one of those, you know, oh my gosh, this could be really bad. And so
yeah, well,
that's
but
why
at the
I
same
thought I'm
but at the
gonna put
same
it out.
time, they could have went to Cedar Point. They didn't have the kids. The whole thing fell through with them selling the truck, and they were like, "Hey, we don't have the kids. Let's go to Cedar Point and spend the day together." You know, or and which is why I asked about like
Yeah.
the nearest boat ramp, or
Hmm.
like to the lake. Let's see, maybe they were like, "Hey, we don't have anything going on with the day. Let's go have, you know, something romantic with each other. Let's go do something." Who knows?
Could
Again,
very well be.
and so it doesn't necessarily have to be something bad. They could have just
Hmm.
wanted to go spend some time together. And
You're absolutely right. There's a
and
butterfly place up on the lake. There's so many little tiny, unique individual, but really interesting little, shots and places and stuff. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean,
you know,
they
they could
could
have
have,
done a million things. And
right.
so,
Anybody could have
but
called and said, no, I'm not interested. And they had already left. They didn't have the kids. They could have spent, like a date night and they don't have to answer the any, you know what I mean? You're right. It could be anything.
it could be anything. And so, just because one case reminds you of another case doesn't mean that that certain circumstance actually happens to this,
Hmm.
these, to Jason and is it Jessica?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
Jason and Jessica, I just wanted to double check myself before. I wanted to say
Yeah.
Jennifer, but I didn't think that was right. But so
Yeah.
just because it reminds you of Jason and Jessica doesn't mean that that's what happened to Jason and Jessica, you
Right.
know.
But the only
But
similarity is that there's a vehicle for, there's a truck for sale and
yeah,
a young couple. You know what I mean? And so when I read that part, I think the urgency in, yeah, put their faces out there, contact the people that I trust. You know what I mean? To just share the information and not go down some crazy rabbit hole. That's, that's when that's the only reason. Not, I don't think that there's a lot of similarity except for the truck. It's just one of those things where, you've gone through some shit yourself, you know what I mean? And so
yeah,
when it's something, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I mean, I'm hoping and praying that absolutely nothing nefarious has happened,
yeah.
I just,
Do
I
we?
live in like worst case scenario in my life.
Oh
So
yeah,
when something makes me feel like, I think the best case scenario would be to at least share it. That's why.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that do we know how? I mean, and if you know, you do. If you don't, you don't. Because obviously nobody's saying anything. Did when mom and dad left and they had grandma watching the kids, was there an arrangement of time? Like, was it like for
Um,
the weekend, or was it just for the day, or was it?
oh, for the kids to be with grandma?
Yeah.
Oh, so what a family member told me was that it was prearranged like several days ahead of time that that the kids were gonna go to grandma's. That I guess it's a regular thing. Grandma,
Okay.
certain days of the week throughout the summer, will grab her grandkids and spend the day with them, and then mom and dad pick them up that night.
Okay. So it
So
was
it
for the day.
like a normal routine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
And so they were absolutely supposed to be back that day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, they were supposed to be back that night. There's several posts on social media where one of Jeff's sisters, she has a couple of sisters, and so one of them had talked to her while she was getting ready, and so because the sister's child or children, I'm not sure how many she has, were also with grandma. So like grandma had more than just Jessica and Jason's kids. Um,
Yeah.
so she was getting ready and talking to the sister, and the sister said that there was nothing about like going out of town, and when I say that, Norwalk to people from Willard is not out of town. That's where you go for groceries, to pay some of your bills, to go to a movie, that kind of thing. So, um, but Jessica's sister said nothing about going out of town, doing anything, you know, out of the ordinary. And according to this sister, it was like a regular occurrence for grandma to gather her grandkids for the day. And shortly after dark, but before bedtime, was generally whenever, mom and dad showed up to pick the kids back up and take them home. So grandma had them from like mid morning until like early evening before bed,
Okay.
like on a normal
And
thing. It's just so
and then
sad.
yeah, it is. It's extremely sad. And then so family, when they didn't show up that night, they reported him missing immediately. And then um and
Well, they
then a
called.
lot of okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then well, my thing was then they reported him missing immediately or like called, you
Hmm.
know, did all their normal stuff. And then called for the welfare check. Now, in the slide that you showed, it said that they called for the welfare check, and law
Hmm.
enforcement came to do the welfare check a couple times, and
Hmm.
there was no answer. But
Yeah.
they didn't enter the home.
Um, so I can't get anything from law enforcement about this, so take it for what it's worth. But so they okay, so that day they're gone, and when they don't come home the normal time, people start grandma and sisters, and they start calling, which led me to believe that these Jason and Jessica are pretty routine as far as when it comes to dropping off and picking up their kids. Because when, let's say, I don't know the definitive time, but let's say 7 o'clock, and that's just me throwing a time out there. Let's say 7 o'clock. By 7:30, Jessica's mom, Jessica's sister, and well, Jessica's mom and sister both are calling Jessica and Jason both. So that told me, you know, they're not really used to showing up late to pick up the kids. But they both started calling Jason and Jessica, both no answer. So Jessica's sister went over to the apartment that evening, knocking on the door. Doors were locked, no answer. Went back to Jessica's mom's. They're not there. They called, 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 eventually put the kids to bed. They went to sleep. I don't know if the phone was going straight to voicemail. I asked that question and I couldn't get an answer. I don't know if it went straight to voicemail. I don't know if they were able to leave voicemails, but they called and called and called. And then sometime middle of the night, they fell asleep. The next morning, they called, couldn't get hold of them, went to the apartment, didn't find them, went straight to the police department. So, police department, I don't know the dates other than the day after they were supposed to come home. So, day one of them missing, sister and mom of Jessica, Jessica's mom and sister go to the police department to file missing, the missing reports and um, ask law enforcement to go into the house to see if they're okay. What I'm told is law enforcement went there twice. I don't know what dates or times, but twice, knocking on the doors, yelling, if anybody's there, open the door. They looked through the windows and they could see in the windows nobody was there, no lights were on. Again, this is what I'm told. I don't have a report or nothing like that. So they didn't break the door in or anything like that. The third time that Jessica's mom called and said they're still not here, we can't get hold of them. The officer who's investigating the missing people reports, I guess told the police department, go down, and if they don't answer, go ahead and make entry. And so that's what happened. Now, I don't know if the landlord showed up with a key or if they, kicked the door. I don't know how that went, but it was the third time that they actually made the effort to get into the apartment. And everything was there as they left it. Um, food in the refrigerator, like lights were left on, TV was left on, like normal. Like they just were stepping out for a little bit. So there was nothing packed. There were no clothes packed or anything like that. Um, it looked like what did it say in the Facebook post? It said it looked like they just stepped out for a little bit. Like, nothing was cleaned up, Um,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It was just like they both jumped up, took the kids over, put some clothes on. She was in the bathroom, put her makeup on, whatever. They walked out the door and kind of a normal thing. I mean, there was nothing out of place, but nothing packed and grabbed and taken with them.
So I'd like to, what's the crime rate? What's the missing persons rate? What's the homicide rate? What's all of that kind of stuff for Willard?
Very low.
Okay.
I mean, homicide and things like that, very, very, very low because it's just it's a tiny,
Small
tiny town.
town.
But let me pull it up for you because here's the thing: we are not we. I don't live there anymore. Willard, I say we because I have family and friends that live there, but they are. Willard is very. How do I say this? So Toledo, being so close to Detroit, has picked up Detroit habits, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
In all the big cities, Willard is surrounded. It's within an hour, hour and a half to very large cities that have really high crime rates. So there is a lot of drug activity, drug trafficking. You've got your interstates and your highways. There's a lot of through traffic as far as like murders and things like that. Um, no, I can't remember the last time that there's been. I don't want to speak though because I
Yeah,
haven't lived
no.
there for a while. Let's see. Is there a specific website? Um, Crime grade? No, it's just
Yeah.
specific. Is there a specific site that has like accurate information or anything like that? Let's see. Do I just Willard, Ohio crime
Yeah.
statistics?
Yeah. Crime statistics in like Willard, Ohio.
There's like if I remember, there's like let's see. Can I share screen and then you tell me
Yeah.
which one to click on? Anybody in the chat have any ideas? Dana Keiko, I love you. Thank you for stopping in. I feel
Let
terrible.
me
I'm not a true crime reporter. I'm not a true crime channel. I'm not true crime content. And I feel like this is
let me
probably
look
going
and
to end
see
up
what I can find. Actually,
being,
hold on.
let's see. I started to Google so I can share screen and you can tell me where to go. Can you see this? I know there's a lot of like drug crime. There's a lot of theft. There's, a lot of like substance abuse. Um, there's some domestic violence, I'm sure, some assaults. I honestly cannot remember the last time I've read anything about murder or anything like that. You're good, Dana
Go.
Keiko. I appreciate you being here.
You can go to
Oh, beans! I'm sorry.
citydata.com.
Okay. City data.
Yeah, it's like less than 50.
I mean, it's super tiny.
Yeah.
There's like a one building
So,
for kindergarten through high school.
so I'm looking at it right now. Uh,
Okay.
as of 2019, no, no murders. One sexual assault.
Since what year?
Oh no. Um, and this is, oh, sorry, for last year. This is just last year alone. Um, so it would be no murders, no sexual assaults, no robberies, 3 assaults, 16 burglaries, 123 thefts, 5 auto thefts, and 0 arsons.
So, I mean, it's so tiny.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of stuff going on. Most of it's outside of the city, closer to the big cities. There's a ton of, I mean, drug activity is pretty rampant through this area because they call it heroin highway actually. Because there's tons of trafficking in the county and on the interstates. Um, occasionally it'll be like it within city limits or something like that. I mean, it's like petty crime. Um,
yeah, they're
maybe
right up there normally with up, on average with like property crime, they're
yeah.
average.
Yeah,
But
like remember the post that has been blasted all over the internet about me threatening the 17 and 18 and 19-year-old kids down the road for
yeah,
egging and baloney, throwing baloney and raw meat and all kinds of stuff and busting windows on my son's truck and my car and all the neighbors. And I was called up, you know, child abuser. That's the kind
yeah,
of crime. There's now I will say this. There's an area just outside of Willard. It's Willard City School District. It's Huron County, but it's just outside of Willard. It's called the Muckland or the Farmlands, and there is a huge. Um, I mean, I don't even know um how many illegal immigrants are working all summer, like all spring, summer, and fall. And the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years, there's been a lot of crime out in that area, like in the country area. It's a town called Celeryville, just like it sounds. Um, and there's, housing and little camps and things like that. And there's quite a bit of crime out there. There's a lot of violence and a lot of drugs. I don't think that there's ever been people that have been missing. I know of one gang fight with another gang fight where somebody was killed, but the person was arrested immediately and then they were deported. That area is not really all that safe after dark, on the weekends, but and that's literally right outside of Willard. Empath test. I don't. Law enforcement is not talking at all about their phone pings. Um, Family told me that whenever law enforcement went into when they the third time that they were asked to do a welfare check, when they actually went into the apartment, that they did take electronic devices, with family members' consent. Like Jessica's mom said, yes, that's her laptop. Yes, you can take it. I believe she said you can take anything, you can take everything. But I'm not. I wish I was there. I hate even talking about this stuff because it just makes me super uncomfortable to think, that they could be in danger and I'm saying something incorrectly. You know what I mean? I just want to be very careful with what I know to be true based on what law enforcement has put out, based on the flyers, you know what I mean, versus what family members are saying, what friends are saying, because this is just so weird. Usually you can find answers to all kinds of stuff on social media, but even social media isn't saying a whole lot because family members have kind of gone silent. Those that were talking have kind of gone silent. I wish
Yeah,
I
there and
I knew
this even
more.
shows like their like police average. And they're
You want to share your screen? Because I'll let you.
oh yeah, here
Absolutely.
let me do that. Um, I don't know how to do that.
Let's see.
Settings.
Guess.
No.
Let's see.
I'm like I don't know how to do that.
Do you see? Are you in StreamYards or YouTube?
I'm on. I guess I'm in StreamYard. Yeah, I'm in StreamYard.
Do you see at the bottom it says mute, start cam settings, and then share?
I don't have share.
Oh crap. Okay. Mm, if you email it to me, I can probably pull it up. If you want to do that,
Okay.
I'll send it in private chat. Sorry, guys. Did you get it?
Oh, hold on. Let me put it here.
It does, and have me too. That's the whole reason that that I said
There,
anything. I mean, that's oh,
I put it
there, I
in
got it.
private chat.
Oh, perfect. Okay, let me share this. Yeah, that's the whole reason that I wanted to say anything at all. Was I just kept thinking, I may not know a lot, but the police did confirm that they are still missing. It's being investigated. They have 4 babies, and I just kind of thought the right thing to do would be at least, put their faces and their names out there.
If you scroll all the way to the bottom, it shows their police force versus like the national crime rate. I mean national rate in not national in versus Ohio itself.
Okay.
And they're above their average.
Okay. Higher than 46. Okay. Weird. Yeah, New Washington's a very tiny town. Greenwich, very tiny town. Shelby is more comparable to Willard. Norwalk is like the county seat. Bellevue is pretty comparable. Milan's pretty comparable. Okay. You need to scroll down now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're just comparing it to those cities, but it says Ohio, like on the bottom where they're talking about the police force. But
Okay.
there's like right here, it's talking about US average.
Okay.
And they're
That
talking
kind of.
about like the year that they're doing it. So, like, violent crime rate of that year.
Okay. Huh. So I moved from there because it just seemed like it was getting so much worse. Ratio of all residents to sex offenders is 291 to 1. Hmm. One too many. Property crime. Yeah. Okay. Keep going down. I've never seen this
Yep.
website before. I know there's like a little delay because I'm watching on the other screen. Murders. You going to go there? Murders per 100,000? Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, none.
Yeah.
See, that's weird. It's per 100,000. Yeah. Uh. Robberies. Yeah, robberies are on the up and up for sure. My ex-husband's family members have owned businesses, and um, they no longer own businesses. Drugs have just really taken over. But I mean, I hate saying that because I feel like that's the same problem everywhere. You know,
Yeah.
it's either taking over or it has, or I just oh gosh, I just don't like such a negative Nancy. Yeah, burglary and theft. That's kind of auto theft. Arson. I think a few years ago. It's just not a lot. So what does this tell you, emergency, when you look at stuff like this?
Well, I mean, I would expect, like, you would expect a small town to have like a kind of like a rinky dink police force, you
Hmm.
know, and per the, per them, per Ohio average, like they're, and I'm not sure if they're comparing it to the cities that they listed above comparatively, or if it's the, you know, per capita of all Ohio cities, but they're on average. And I kind of find that intriguing, because you would expect it to be like, um, you know, their capita of residents per police force, you would expect it to be low, like, um, small. You would expect it to be really small, like if you've got,
Oh, the police department? For the
yeah,
oh,
you
you're
would
saying for
expect,
the crime and the number of people, you would expect it to be like
yeah,
really small.
you would expect it to be like, you know, um, I don't want to sound judgmental, but
Oh, you're not going to.
you would expect it to be like, Hicktown, USA, with like two
Hmm.
cops with their feet set up, and that kind of stuff, and like a one clink cell, and that's it, and like that kind of thing, and it's obviously not. It's comparable to
That's
what they're
definitely
getting.
grown.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely comparable to what they're dealing with on a regular basis, to, all of that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, it's not showing that they're very experienced in, like, certain kind of crimes. Um, if they were to have a murder in their town, they wouldn't be experienced with doing that. So you would expect them to have a call in from, you know, outside agencies to deal with that. So if there was a murder in their town, and that's what they're dealing with, if they didn't call in outside agencies to deal with it in their town, that I would seriously question that, um, because obviously in their it shows in their stats they've never dealt with one, um, so they are not prepared to deal with one. But Like, and it doesn't show missing on the statistic for them. Uh, but, I'm sure they've dealt with, like missing, a missing person. It just doesn't show it there. Um,
Mhm.
but, you know, how long have they been missing specifically?
July, end of July,
July.
like the 30th of July.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Hmm.
at this point, they've been missing for a substantial amount of time. So, you would expect them to start, calling in agents, outside agencies to actually start helping them.
Okay.
Because, uh, this isn't like a random missing thing. Like, you know, it's time to start looking. It's really
Right.
start to like buckle down and get serious about it.
Yeah.
And so it's time to expect those kinds of scenarios of being like,
Maybe I see why the
okay,
family's frustrated, feeling like nothing's
yeah,
being done.
you know, I mean, any person that's been missing for more than a normal length of time, you got two missing adults. And normal, when two missing adults go missing, um, they can leave on their own. They can go missing for any normal reasons, because they want to, because they're tired of life, you know,
Right.
their normal circumstances of life. They're just, whatever the case may be, they can just go. Um, and police have to take those circumstances into consideration just because they want. But
Hmm.
after a length of time, you really need to start taking all of those circumstances into account and really buckle down and be like, okay, so they have four kids. They're
Hmm.
dutiful, doting parents, and this is outside their norm. We've talked to their family, we've talked to their friends. This is really out of their norm. Um,
Right.
their attendance at work, they don't miss. They don't miss school functions. They don't miss these kind of life events. Like, is a family member been sick, and they don't miss these things. Um, those kinds of things are dictative to what a normal person would do. Like, do they normally call? Do they normally check in? Do they, what is their normal behaviors? And are they deviating it from it drastically? And those are the things you start taking notes of. Again, a person can go missing for, an adult can go be like, I'm tired of my life and I want to change it now. I want to move away and I don't want to deal with my kids and I don't want to deal with my family. And, one of them obviously has a history of cutting people off, for whatever reason it is, and
Yeah.
not contacting them. So you got to take that into consideration for one side. But how is the other person? And if this is completely abnormal behavior for her, then you have to take that into consideration. Is she being held against her will? I mean, even by the husband, is she being held against her will by him? And I'm not saying that that's happening at all. I'm just throwing it out there. But is that something normal? And if it's not, then you bring in experts in that field that know more than you, and they take outside looks into it. Um, and there's no bad reason. Egos have to go to a side. Not saying that egos are in play with law enforcement, but you have to put all of those things to the side for the better reason for the people. They have kids. You know, you eventually, as law enforcement, as agencies, you are eventually going to have to answer questions of these kids. They have family. You're eventually going to have to answer questions to these families, and you want to have the right answers to give them. Um, so you don't let a ball drop. You never let a ball drop because people's lives are at stake. People's, not just their lives, but everybody's life, and your reputation's at stake. Your integrity is at stake. Your heart is at stake. Everything's at stake, and nobody wants to fail. And if that means I'm not qualified and I'm not sure I'm giving the right answer, then I'm going to find the person who has the right answers. And if that's not you, then you find the right person. And you keep finding the right people every day. Um, and you have to have a spokesperson for that. And if you're not a good speaker for those things, you find the right speaker to be able to speak to the family. You have to have a dedicated person to be able to speak to the family, period, so that you may not be giving them all the answers that you have, but you're giving them something. And if that answer is, I don't know, but I'll give it to you, I'll find it for you, or I can't provide that to you right now, we're working on it. We're working diligently to that. Then that's what you give. Um, so it's something. You never leave people hanging when it involves their loved one, because eventually you're going to have to answer to that. You know, cases can't go on for years and years and years and expect for good relations to continue. Um, it's just never going to work out well. And we want it to work out well. And that goes
Absolutely.
for law enforcement, that goes for people that are representing families, that's going for people representing everybody. And that especially goes for any of us on YouTube that are, speaking for them or working towards what they're doing. You want to have a good standing relationship with families and these cases, because we are their mouthpiece. Um, you don't want to fly off the handle and say something irrational, because you're losing your credibility at the end. And people don't want to work with people that have no credibility.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah, that's a good point too. That's a really good point to make. That's a really good
And
point.
empath test, you're right. Maybe the police are quiet for a reason. Maybe they have evidence of something. But that doesn't mean if you have evidence or you're holding something back that you completely ignore or disregard the people that the loved ones that care for these people. You can approach them and say, we're working on the case. We're working diligently on the case. I mean, I can't give you the specific answers that you want, but know that we're working hard and we're finding the answers that you're needing. um, you still have to have a great working relationship with them, you know, to be able to say, I can't give you the answers, but know that I'm working diligently and hard for your family, because I know you care and I care, and I want the answers just as much as you do. So to not say anything is saying so much. Not doing anything is doing a lot. Um, is doing something. It's hurtful, it's disrespectful, and that's not what you want to do. It's terrible. It's hurtful. And it speaks volumes to the loved ones, the children that are involved in this case. It speaks volumes to all of them. And it leaves a long lasting impression. And that, as law enforcement or any person that's working in correlation to these cases, that's not the long lasting relationship that you want to leave with your community. It's not the long lasting relationship that you want to leave with family members of missing loved ones, or anybody, because you still have to work with each individual person in your community too, especially in a small community, but a large community too. You're going to have to look people in the face, at one point in time, and have to answer up. You're going to have to answer to them. You're going to have to look at them, and you don't want to leave a stab in the back to them.
Yeah. I feel bad even I mean, I feel bad because most of, missing persons cases have, a ton of information and this one just doesn't. And I
Yeah.
feel bad for the family because they kind of feel like the the history of substance abuse is um is a judgment placed upon, them as being missing. And so they kind of feel like maybe they're not being treated as healthy, you know, um healthy individuals that have been in recovery for several years. And then at the same point, law enforcement, the area is ridden with drugs. I mean, there's not a lot of violent crime at all right there in the city limits. But outside of the city, I mean, like I said, Willard is within, an hour of Toledo, an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes of Cleveland. It's an hour and a half from Columbus. You're an hour and 45 minutes from Detroit. And, big cities that have a lot of violent crime. So I feel, I don't know, when I sat and thought about if I wanted to, to even put anything out, you know what I mean? I couldn't say no. I mean, I'm not a big channel. I don't cover true crime or nothing like that. But when it comes to those four babies sitting at home and the parents, that are wondering where their kids are, I'm going to go back to say I'm not law enforcement. I'm not an investigator. I'm not anything of the sort. I could, I'm, I can only tell you what either a law enforcement has confirmed, what's on the missing persons flyers, or what's been in family social media posts before they were deleted or hidden or whatever it might be. I mean, none of the family are active on social media right now, from what compared to what they were. So I know something is going on. I don't think law enforcement has dropped the ball. I don't think that they've said no, we don't care. I think that they're being very quiet. There could be, something bigger going on. They could
Yeah.
be ran off. They could have decided to take off. I would hate that. They have four babies, and I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. I don't have anything, you know, to say that that's even a possibility. I just feel I'm not a true crime creator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just wanted to put their names out there. This is where they're from. This is where they went. And, hopefully somebody sees them. Hopefully, you know, people share the flyer out and hopefully they're found. I believe in law enforcement. I back the blue. There's
Absolutely.
bad cops everywhere. I don't back that blue. But as far as I have, faith in local law enforcement, but I'm saying that as a person who doesn't have, a family member or somebody that I care about currently missing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I guess, not be judgmental, but yet be sympathetic to both sides. I just feel, ugh.
No, I completely agree with that, because the thing is that you never know what's happening behind closed doors on either side. You know,
Hmm.
families, and this is nothing against their family or any family, but families are always looking at something to point at. And law enforcement is an easy target to point a finger at, to blame them. They always are. And
Hmm.
law enforcement has to accept
Absolutely.
that hat. They have to accept to wear that hat, that they're the easy target when
Hmm.
things aren't going the right way that people want things to be going, or they're not getting the answers that they want. Then it's very easy for them to get that that blame put on them, because it's just easy. And you know and they know that, and they accept that, and they work hard, and they are very diligent in what they do. I know that too. um and I also know, on the same end of that, that um when you don't have anything to give the family, when there's you just don't have anything, it's hard to go to the family and say, we don't have anything, like, um we don't have anything to give you. So to not say anything
And then after you put it up,
is a lot easier than saying, oh, we don't have anything. So,
mhm,
it sometimes you're
mhm,
stuck between a rock and a hard place.
and you can pop them.
And you know it's those it's those circumstances where you're stuck in between, on both sides, that conflict arises. And um you know, as a nurse, you kind of get in the middle of that too. Like when the patient wants answers to what's going on with them, and the doctors have no clue of what's going on. As a nurse, you get stuck in the middle of that saying, you are the soundboard for the patient's frustrations or even the doctor's frustrations. And you have to listen to both sides of it. And I get yelled at and I get it all because people want answers and I don't have them either. Um, and so, I have to accept that responsibility for it because
Mhm.
that's part of my job to be the cushion, the boundary between it. Um,
Yeah.
so, I mean, I understand it and you know, it hurts um, because we care, everybody cares. And,
Mhm.
so, I mean, I get it in the grand scheme of things. I really do. So you just, it's all about teaching, it's all about coaching, it's all about, you know, compassion, understanding, and empathy. And you have to find that. And that, I think, not only goes for the family, and not only does it go for law enforcement, but that also goes for, people posting things on social media. It also goes for people, talking about it. It also goes for creators on YouTube. It also goes for everybody in the midst of that. You have to find compassion and understanding and empathy in what you're doing, and be protective about how you're approaching things, um, with integrity. And I think a lot of, obviously the creators on YouTube um, need to go with with integrity in their heart about what they're doing. And a lot of these creators have lost, or if they even have integrity, is my question. But a lot of creators have lost the integrity part of it. And we are
Mhm.
very fortunate to have the creators that we're a part of that have that. They have true integrity in their heart, true compassion in their heart,
Absolutely.
and true
And I see
empathy.
firsthand. Absolutely, I agree, and I see firsthand how nerve wracking it can be for them to even put any information out here. I mean, I probably wouldn't have been like this, 3 months ago, but the way that things are today.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot. I just know that they're missing and there's their faces, and that's the gist of it. As information, as law enforcement says, yes, that's true. No, that's not true. I definitely will update it. I mean, I definitely want to see them come home. I would love to see a favorable outcome. Um, and I don't want to cover these things ever again like this. Oh, it just makes me
Yeah.
super nervous.
I
Let's
think it's
see.
important to put, I think it's important for all of us to, to share these things out to, like our social media, and to bring awareness to every single person that's missing. But just to do it with, that compassion and that understanding and that that empathetic heart, um, and not allow um, the drama and the chaos to exist in in this atmosphere. If you want to cover drama, go to the drama community. If you want to do the chaos, I'm sure there's a chaos community on YouTube. If you want to do that, don't do it with the missing, because they deserve so much more respect. And if you're not going to give them that respect, just don't cover them. You know, um,
Right.
because they deserve so much more. Uh, Again, treat people like how you would want to be treated, how you would want your family to be treated, how you would want yourself to be treated if you were missing. You know, nobody
Mhm.
wants that. Nobody wants it. We won't want it. We wouldn't want it for you. We wouldn't want it for your family. We wouldn't tolerate it for you. We wouldn't tolerate it for your family. And so do not allow it for everybody else, anybody else, because it's not worth it. It's not. Um, it's not a game. It's not funny. It's hurtful. Um, you know, Go back to whatever
Yeah.
community that fits in. And I'm sure you'll have lots of fun there. You know, lots of fun.
We can lead you to the horse, and you can drink all the water you want.
Yeah.
No show.
I mean,
But
you can, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But, in with some of these people, I won't say what I would like to do, but, um, dunk your head a couple times. You don't have to drink the water, but I'll dunk your head a couple times. You know, just have some damn respect, please.
yeah.
Just be respectful. Just please.
Well, I wanna yeah, I agree. Empath Tess said so well said. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Um, I'm gonna get
Now,
caught up on
I don't know if you saw that there's a couple updates on, or I don't know if it's an update or what's exactly going on with the uh, Lisa Fletcher, the Lisa Fletcher case going on.
like
They
since
had
we've been live.
yeah, since we've been live, they had a mobile command center arrive um, there, and
Really?
yeah, so they set up a mobile command center in
Does
Memphis
do you
for
got a
her.
video or let's see.
Um, and uh, someone's currently having like a live stream in regards to it. Um, and I think that case is extremely important since they have a person in custody. Um,
Yeah. Is it
and
one of our um channels?
no,
Oh,
um, but for me, I'd like to support it.
absolutely.
Um,
I'm looking for it now.
uh,
I mean, I'll stream it. I've been following that one too. 8 minutes
yeah,
ago? Oh no. Okay.
I want to support it. It's one
Can
of
I
our
stream
mods.
live now from Fox Memphis?
I wouldn't, though they have a tendency to strike any of the like the news channels. They have a tendency to strike.
10 minutes,
Um,
33 seconds.
maybe, yeah. I want to,
Can I pause?
be
No,
careful.
I don't know what to do right now.
Yeah, I don't know on those kinds of things um, because like news channels have a tendency to strike. I know like um, uh, WJHL will strike.
Oh, heck yeah.
Um,
JB.
so I don't
Yeah.
know what's okay, what's not okay, and I definitely don't want you to get in trouble.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
But uh,
Remember the other night, I was streaming a documentary that actually was it was approved for sharing on YouTube. It was approved for
oh,
commentary
great.
and yeah, and they blacked out the screen and made it look like there was all kinds of strikes. There was nothing. I'm looking for something.
Oh, with that thing that you asked me about sharing, did
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
get in contact with them?
I sent an email. I haven't heard anything back yet.
Okay. Um, I'll reach out too. But because I think
I would like to regularly because I've always followed. I'm gonna play this. I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna hit a couple of sections. You know what I mean?
hey, hey, Lise,
Lise
and
Levesque.
and everybody in chat. If I didn't get to say hi to you, I love you all. Really, I do. You guys are
She's kind of walk.
amazing.
She's kind of walking me through how to show that stuff. Do you guys want to watch an update on the Fletcher case? I have I won't stream the whole thing, but live now from Fox. I think it's a Memphis station. Raw. I'm not sure. I hope so. I wanted to answer a couple questions. Will you guys tell me that? Real quick. YouTube dumpster firefighter said, super stupid when she was young and ran away 4 states for 90 days. I feel horrible. My dad said the list to put me on with all the kids was huge and she never saw me. Wow. It's just gone. YouTube dumpster firefighter, I absolutely adore you. I think the world of you. I love having you as my friend, and I'm glad that you're safe and that you're okay. And please don't do that again. I know you're grown now and stuff, but you know what I mean? I kind of like having
No
you
running
around,
away.
girl.
No running away.
Nope, nope, nope. Empath tested. Maybe the police are quiet for a reason. Maybe they have evidence of something. I hope that it's something like that. I mean, I'm always going to believe that they know a heck of a lot more than what we do. And so um, it's easy for me to have patience because, it's not my family. You know what I mean? I hate saying that because it makes me sound so selfish. I care about people in general. Lisa Levesque, hi, Vilomah. Super late, going to the beginning on catch up. Lisa, I love that you're here. I adore you. Thanks for stopping in.
The quiz. My God.
Yeah,
I love you guys all so much. And thank you so much for being here and supporting Vilomah.
yeah.
You're amazing.
Squared for Vilomah. Just to make sure that she's safe, just in case there's some sort of family issue going on. Empath test. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for that. I don't live in Willard or anywhere near Willard anymore. I have like distant family members that live there that I talk to on a pretty regular basis. I know a lot of people that live there, but I'm safe. I'm hours away. I haven't lived there for a while, so but thank you so much for being concerned and worrying about me. That means a lot. Thank you for that.
Oh, actually, something I just thought of is Willard. I mean, is that border close to where those two in Canada, those two
No.
men in Canada? No, okay. I was
Mm-mm.
just like, I don't know where
I thought of that too when
that.
AB played it.
Yeah, I just thought about it because I was like, I don't know where that is in location to there, and it just ran through my head, and I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah. Let's see. Trying to think. I remember with my 18th birthday, we went to Ontario. There was a bunch of us girls that went to casino in Ontario. It was like 3.5, 4 hours away, I think. I mean, anything's possible, Those guys have been, on the run for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, empath has makes me nuts when I think of people missing because I just put myself in their shoes. Me too. That's why it was so hard for me to, I don't know, try to even put it out. I mean, I wish I knew more, and I don't. And I feel like that alone is a little bit strange. But like I said, I just want their names and their faces out. And, hopefully people pass the flyer around and stuff like that. And then they get found. That's the best thing. I'll go back and listen to the replay later. Lisa, I just love you. She will be found. Are you talking about the Eliza Fletcher? Because I'm gonna play it. I mean, I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I'm just gonna hit and miss. Sound good? I want to know. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, I'm super, I would like to know why they brought up, what made them bring out a mobile command center. Um, I'm sure they're not going to release why they did that, but
Let's see.
but at the same
Okay,
time,
I'm gonna play this. But if you see anything that has like more information or whatever, please let me know. Like, send it to me in the back chat.
okay.
But I found this video that's an hour ago. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, good deal. All right. If you
I was
see
just
something
petting my
else,
puppy.
though, let me know. All right. I'm gonna play this one. You ready?
Yeah.
And this is a tweet from Memphis police. They say at 5:07 p.m., officers in the 1600 block of Victor located a deceased party. The identity of this person and the cause of the death is unconfirmed at this time. The investigation is ongoing. Once additional information is available, we will provide an update. Here.
Okay.
Ooh.
That. And then let's go
We're
here.
still waiting for Memphis police to give.
Okay, that's not where it's at.
Around 4:30 a.m. on Friday, September 2nd.
Nope. I don't want to get struck, so I'm trying to get to the info, the update.
A little bit. This is what we do here on Live Now from Fox. Certainly, live pictures go.
Yeah, that's the same thing that they just put up a minute ago. Okay.
Charged by police. Monday, September 5th, today, new charges announced against Abston, seemingly from an unrelated incident before Fletcher was abducted.
Okay. I'm trying to get to the update, guys. I'm sorry. It said an hour ago, and then it said police discovered body. Oh crap!
What we're
Oh no!
focusing on here, and here's a scene, as you can see on the left side of the screen. Just more information if you're just joining us late here on Live Now from Fox.
Oh my gosh! Can everybody see that? To read it. Oh my gosh! Yes,
So it
it is
says,
it's about the missing jogger. They found her body. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, emergency.
they said Memphis police find a deceased body identified and cause of death unconfirmed. Many charges against man accused of abducting women in Memphis. Oh, new charges, sorry, against man accused of abducting women in Memphis. Suspect, I don't even want to say his name, also accused of taking woman's wallet before abduction.
Oh my gosh. I'll play from here and
It is
see.
5:30 on the West Coast. About 8:30 is as you can see there, but our shot seems to be going away really quickly. So I'm going to continue to try to find as much 30 as you can see the sun going down there.
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get the info, but without being
East Coast
struck.
time, I believe. Still lots of ongoing information there, but our shot seems to be going away really quickly. So I'm going to continue to try to find where they caught on camera of a person pushing her toward a GMC, a 2013 GMC Terrain. New charges have been filed against that man as they've arrested him at this location, which would not.
Oh my gosh.
And they said those new charges were prior to her going missing.
Oh, I got a, my brother sent me a email 16 minutes ago. Let me send this to myself. We can read this together. It's just another one. It's so terrible. Her poor family. Her babies. Did you find another, if you find another video that you think is like more safe or whatever, I don't want to get struck. But I hate that we, I get it. Let me pull this email up. I'll get that off there so I'm not showing all my business. Okay. This is 16 minutes ago. My brother sent it to me. Thanks, bro. He must be watching. Okay. Everybody see this? Yeah. Okay. Updated 17 minutes ago. It is The Independent. Eliza Fletcher. Oh, here we go.
Empath test. I don't believe that it's been confirmed. Has it been confirmed that?
What's that?
They put in. So glad they found her. Yes, Lise. Has it been confirmed that it's been her? Because I'm not seeing anything that it's actually confirmed her. It's just anything that I'm seeing is just that they found a decedent in, but it's unidentified at this time.
I thought that you're probably right. Yeah, they're not confirming it. It says, let's see, that video that I just had up. Stop, don't do that. It says Eliza Fletcher abduction. Police discover body, police discover body, identity, and cause of death unconfirmed. So yeah, they're not confirming that it's her. They found a body. I think this article has. I think you can see that, right? Yeah. Okay. Can you see that, emergency me?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Investigator. Oh wait, here's a video. Gosh, I love videos. Oh, check it out.
Before grabbing her and forcing video shows the well-known teacher violently abducted. Police say this man, Cleotha Abston, waited for the Memphis mother to run by him before grabbing her and forcing her into his SUV. Investigators say they found her phone and his sandals at the scene. Cell records showed Abston's phone in the area at the same time of Fletcher's disappearance. Her family pleading for her safe return.
We believe someone knows what happened and can help.
Miriam Smith attends church with Fletcher.
She's got a lot of tenacity. She's strong.
Outside of Fletcher's Memphis home, police collected evidence. They also hauled this dumpster away from the home of Abston's brother.
Look at all the cars on Auto Trader. New cars.
We don't care about the cars on Auto Trader. Is this an ad? Let me mute it. I'm not too good at this, y'all.
And
Gonna
Past
play
House,
more?
I don't mean to call you out specifically.
Dump homes
I just don't want any
and around-
speculation or anything.
I'm glad that you pointed it out. Okay, this says Memphis police have, this is 18 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago now. It says Memphis police have not yet identified the body. Investigators searching have found a deceased person after carrying out a search at a wooded area near the home of suspect Cleotha Abston. Then, okay, on Monday, officers from the Memphis Police Department were spotted on all-terrain vehicles searching a wooded area in South Memphis, about 2 miles from Abston's home, according to WREG3. Investigators searched Martin Luther King Riverside Park, Pine Hill. Abston is refusing to tell police anything about the abduction, according to an affidavit. Police say 2 witnesses saw him washing his clothes in a sink, cleaning the floor of his SUV. Okay, what's this? Breaking news 25 minutes ago. Memphis Police Department said on Monday that officers had found a corpse around 5:07 p.m. local time, though it stressed that the identity of the person, cause of death, are unconfirmed at the time. This is terrible. Oh wait, do I have Twitter? I clicked on it and it went to a Twitter. Abby. Anybody else have a Twitter and they didn't know it? I know, Impact Test, this is terrible. It's just constant all the time. There's always somebody missing and somebody found deceased. Always, always. That's it on this website, I believe. God, just make it stop. So much ugly and it's just so bad, you know? It's just there's just so much of it. People wonder why I'm like overly safe or whatever. Like I'm a little on the, I don't know what you call it. I'm a little extra when it comes to like safety stuff. This is why. Yeah.
Yes. So process for
Yes.
the decedent they found is that they'll medical examiner will take custody of the body, and then the medical examiner will determine cause of death and then confirm identity. And then when that's done, then they'll release identity and cause of death. So probably won't know any of that information until after that time frame. And they, they may know, but they're not going to confirm anything.
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
yeah, protocols and
because
stuff like
they
that.
didn't even say gender.
Hmm. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't. And you know what? Family should be notified first. Give them the respect. What I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm torn with this. I mean, they say there's been a body found, and then they go directly into the details of her kidnapping. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That doesn't mean that that's the case. It's aggravating. I just
yeah,
didn't want this outcome again. I just really didn't. I'm just another. There's another one. Tomorrow we're gonna wake up and there's gonna be another one. It's just like, when does it end? When does the evil stop? I just hate it. Like, we're on a live stream right now, right? Talking about how terrible this is. And God forbid that this is her, but it's somebody's,
yeah,
family members are being called to come in and ID a body. Like, their before and after is starting right now. That's always immediately where my mind goes. And that's
yeah,
why I get so upset. Like, gosh, man, another one, there's another before and after, another now starts the rest of their life. I mean, it just, mm, 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 mm.
yeah,
I just pray people leave her family alone
yeah,
and that this doesn't turn into another, attempt at, I don't know, I just don't want to say anything else. It's, it's just sad. She's so young. She's two babies, her husband, her whole life ahead of her, you know?
yeah.
Oh, mm,
And I mean, my thing is, it always goes back to, like, and I know this kind of, it goes back to the disparaging of, like, other family members and all of those kinds of things, and what, other people have said about them. Um, you know, you don't know anything to don't so don't say anything. And I know theories and all of those kinds of things, but nobody knows if the husband had anything to do with it. That's law enforcement's job to figure that out. And
right?
but everybody, you put that out there in the ether, and you put that out there in the atmosphere. um those children, if he's completely innocent, then those children have to listen to that. That's there. It's
Absolutely.
to be found and heard. um
You brought
and
this up, and I'm going to tell you, there's a content creator that I have watched for quite a while. Excuse me. This morning, she put a video out about this case. It might have been last night, but I watched it this morning, and I unsubscribed from her. And she's a fairly large content creator. Annie Elise, 10 to Life. I unsubscribed from her because she started doing it the first video that she put out. She started this crazy speculation about the husband having an affair and just ugly. I'm not even going to repeat it. And I was like, you know what? I'm done, done, done with this. And I unsubscribed. And I won't watch her because, there's no redaction after this. When the truth comes out and it has nothing to do with any family member, this is any case, any case. When the truth comes out and the people that have been taken to slaughter are found to have not been involved, there's not one person that apologizes, redacts their hate and toxicity. Not one. Once it's out there, exactly, Lisa Levesque. Once it's out there, Everyone starts running with it, and then they have to make it the worst, the most shocking, the most, um
Crude.
odd. Yes. Yeah, I'm just so I'm it's mm, I just it's so frustrating. These
Yeah.
people are gonna suffer they're gonna suffer tragedy. These people that are doing this, they think that they've suffered tragedy, but this is how you know that they have not suffered life debilitating, halting, forever, never the same tragedy in their life because they can do this. They can do this. They can rip people apart for their own gain. It's just so frustrating. It downright pisses me off. They have no business
Yeah.
doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And Annie
And
Elise
it's
did it.
that
Tend to Life
stuff.
did it.
Yeah. It's that stuff that it gets right underneath my skin. It, I mean, and I mean, I will not name them because I won't give them the air. I just will not do it. And, you know who you are. These creators, we all know who they are. We know them. Um, and you know who you are when you're doing it. Stop doing it. Stop hurting people.
Yeah.
There isn't an amount of money that I would sell my soul for to intentionally hurt people. And you are
Hmm.
intentionally hurting people. For what? For a like, for a sub, for a check? No,
Yep.
not on my life would I do it.
So that
Um,
just so people can say, oh yeah, Justice for All was the one that had all the information. I'll be damned if he didn't sit on a daggone live stream with Horsehead and actually say, I will never kick somebody when they're down. I just can't do that. I don't believe in that. And turn right around and destroy Kylie Rodney's family, that lion SOB. He shouldn't have a platform.
mhm.
I speak it. I don't care. He is absolutely not a true crime content creator. I have zero respect for him at all whatsoever. He cannot say he'll never kick somebody down. He'll never kick somebody when they're down. He doesn't believe in that. Blah blah blah. And then literally justify what he did with Adventures with Purpose video. He
Yeah.
justified it. To this day, he will justify. I didn't do it. Wasn't that bad? My God, loser, loser,
Oh yeah,
loser. Something.
his excuse. Are you kidding me? Well, they did it, so I can do it. No,
Hmm.
no, no. It doesn't. There is no tit for tat. There is no.
That's right.
Well, no, there isn't. That is not a reason. Just
Not when
because
it's somebody
you
else's
saw,
child.
yeah, so your morals are broken because somebody else's morals are broken. Get
Absolutely.
some morals.
100%.
Go buy a bag of morals with the money that you're
Absolutely.
getting. Go buy a bag of morals. Go buy some values. Go buy a heart.
You know what's going to happen? Somebody that he cares about. God forbid. I'd never want this to happen. Somebody he truly cares about is gonna pass away. You know what I mean? There's something terrible is gonna happen to him because it happens to all of us. It's not selective. I mean, bad things happen to good people, and he's going to expect people to treat him differently than he treated all of these cases. And there's people out there that, God forbid, they're not going to do it. They're going to treat him as if he is nobody, as if they have no idea who he is. And when he comes out with the tears and the screaming and the I can't believe they did that, I will say to him, I'm so sorry that they've done that to you. I will. And then months later,
Mm-hmm.
when he says it again, I'll say, Justin, what did you think was going to happen after what you've done to all of those cases that you've covered? What I mean, what did you think? You told everybody what your playing field. You told everybody the rules that you play by. I mean,
You know
I
he
don't want
he
anything bad to ever happen to anybody. I don't. I don't want to see anybody live a life of grief, and fight their way through it. I don't want to see anybody suffer tragedy, but it's going to happen because it's life. It's part of life. So people like Justin are going to be the first person to cry the loudest and have an entire, I will not be in the audience of people, but he will have an entire audience of people pointing the finger back to him. I will not be one of them because I truly don't believe in kicking somebody whenever they're down. Like that lying jerk lied his whole
Hmm.
ass off instead. But I have no respect for him at all. None. I never will. He did what nobody should have ever done. And for him to say he has children, he has a husband, he has a family, he has parents, blah, 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 and he still did that, and now here we have, Eliza Fletcher. I don't even know what they're going to come up with. You know what I mean? I really pray that they leave her and her family alone. Maybe the fact that she's loaded or that her family is loaded will make them. Maybe this is the case that they'll fear lawsuit. I don't know, but I'm so disgusted with these people.
Yeah.
I know I'm ranting
You
at
know,
the mouth right now because I just didn't. It's another, here's another one. Here's another person who's been
well,
murdered
the thing
for no
is that
reason.
he cared about how Jose was treated. Okay. He didn't want anybody to,
I don't think he did.
treat, well, I mean, he portrayed
Mhm.
that and he made a big stink about how Jose was treated. Well, if if any if that was not okay with you, then how are you doing it to anybody else?
Yeah.
And how is any excuse that you're giving okay? If you didn't want it done to somebody that you cared about, supposedly, in your opinion, whatever, however you want to put that, then how would you
Right.
make it okay to do it to a 16-year-old innocent girl? And
Yeah.
not that I agree that
Oh,
anybody
absolutely.
should be done that way. Nobody should be done that way. But you did it to a 16-year-old innocent girl. You did it. And so you're wrong. You know you're wrong because you didn't allow anybody to do it to somebody that you spoke to, that you protected, that you cared about, supposedly. So you know you're wrong. So don't come out here with any excuses, any crap to go along with it. It doesn't work, and nobody's buying it.
Hmm.
So and then we go on to every other creator that does these things. You cannot be a contradiction of your own terms. You cannot do it. And
Yep.
every time it's done, it will be called out and you will be shown as the fraud that you are. Because fraudery is bullshittery and it's not going to work anymore. Because there's plenty of us out here that do not enjoy it. And it needs to be stopped. It has to be stopped. Just quit. If,
See, I
if
think
this
it's
is
what he
if
did
this is
with
what you're
Jose. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'm ranting at the mouth to myself. It's
I'm
just
sick of it. The way he
irritating.
was with Jose, though, from the moment I'll tell you know what? I'm gonna be straight up blunt about what I think about Justin. I think Justin has people send him some type of script or information because it's like, I see you. Did you send it to me? Did you send it to me? Did you send it to me? He don't have a clue. But I think that he wanted his thumb on Jose. Like he called dibs on Jose. I don't think he ever cared about Jose. I think he called dibs. Like this is, you know what I mean? I got the interview, blah blah. No, I just don't. And it's sad because I used to watch him on Ziggy's panel way back when Ziggy first started, and I seen him on several other panels, and I thought I really liked him. I liked that he was patient and that wasn't he just wasn't out there. And then all of a sudden he's got his channel, and it's like he called dibs on Jose. I don't think he was. I mean, I see how he was saying the right things, to defend him or to create, some type of like friendship or whatever. But I think he called dibs. You know what I mean? He was like, dibs, I got this one. And was quick to jump in front of him or quick to defend him or whatever, because I mean, it worked. Jose kept going back to his panel and he's disgusting. Justin is disgusting. Disgusting. I would love for him to take a link on this channel. Absolutely. Take a freaking link. Come sit at the table and let's talk about why you do what you do. The only question I have for Justin is this. When you found the videos, or when you watched the Adventures with Purpose video, and you decided to go screen by screen by screen, frame by frame by frame, zooming in and cropping and all the dumb shit that you did, and then you posted it on your channel, and then you said members only had special material because I watched the clip of him talking the bullshit fuckery that come out of his mouth, okay? What is the intention behind doing that? What is the intention? What was your purpose? What did you want to gain? What's the reason? What's the driving force for why you would take private, intimate photos of a child's death and want to highlight her body and then post it on your social media platform, post some of it behind a flippin' paywall for your members, brag about it to your general audience? What was the intention behind doing so? I want that answered. He can come to my panel anytime. He can tell me, and I will schedule it for him to explain that to me. And I will tell him 10 ways why he is disgusting, vile, and should not be covering any child's case. Because the first thing I'll say to him, well, however he tries to defend it, Justin, would you be okay with that if that was your child and another creator? Would you be okay with that? I want his answers. What was the intention behind digging up her body, finding frame by frame and exposing that for all the public? Like, Justin, do you not know some of the people that are in true crime community? Do you not know that not everybody has good intentions for being here? Do you not know that there are people who are here for that sole reason and you handed it to them? Do you not know that she was 16 years old, underage, and you were insinuating that she was nude? What is wrong with you, fool? The hell is wrong with you? Clutch your pearls all day long, wear your wigs, talk your shit. You are so wrong, vile, disgusting, and you have no place on this platform. Period. I'll tell him that to his face. I lost all
My
respect for him
question,
whenever he did that.
my question to him is very simple. Why go up on your channel and say that you blurred it and that you unblurred it, that you used all these things to undo it, and then come up on another panel and say you didn't?
Oh yeah,
Why
lie.
lie to your own subscribers? If
30
you
channels
did,
clipped it
then
and put it out, loser. You can't lie about it. You can't
yeah,
lie about it. You
why
can lie about a
say
wig, but you can't lie about that.
why say that you did it and then come back and say that you didn't do it? Either so you're a liar now.
Oh,
You
he's a straight
understand what
liar.
well, yeah, but I mean, now you are a confirmed liar on top of what you did. That is this disgusting behavior.
Yeah. He bragged
So
about how long it took him to find and
why would you
edit. And
lie?
yeah, because he got called out because people said, Justin, that's not cool. He's clutching his pearls and lying his ass off. Did you see this comment? I didn't know this. YouTube Dumpster Firefighter says, then he had Mallory Williams on his panel today to stick up for him. That's who you
Oh,
go to for
whatever.
support and backup? Are you kidding me? The
Yeah,
jackass
whatever.
he thought is appropriate to make all those jokes about Summer Wells? That's who
Yeah,
you go
whatever.
to? Justin claims to care about. See, this is what I'm talking about. These people cares about Summer Wells. He'll go on a rant about justifying why he went to Hawkins County and showed his ass with a group of asses that he went there with. He will justify it. He will smirk and smile about it because he's sitting behind a daggone computer screen. That's why he does it. And then he wants to bring Mallory on his panel. Mallory, the same Mallory that had the most disgusting shit to say about Summer Wells. that precious angel, he completely crossed the line with his humor. Whatever. Mallory is not a comedian. She's not. She's not a comedian. Justin is not an empathetic, caring individual. No wonder why they teamed up. Now it makes sense. I
Yeah.
don't watch either one of
And
those disgusting channels.
an empath test, I'm not picking on you whatsoever, but because I love your comments, really. You said, I think he desensitized because of the work he has done. If that's the case, truly, if that's the case, if he worked anywhere near me and one of my nurses was desensitized to the work that they did, I would fire them and tell them flat out, find a different field to work in, because that's not gonna work around here.
Did he say that?
If you That's what and
Did
I think
Justin
that's
say that?
what they're I have no idea what the work he did before, or what he was involved with before he came to true crime, or whatever he calls what he's doing, quite frankly.
Well, if
Because
he said that,
it's not true
listen,
crime.
yeah, if he
It's
said something stupid like that, like whatever, if he said that, then that means he's full of excuses for his behaviors when he's called out. He's like, I can do whatever I want to do, and then whenever he's called out on, he's got some bullshit excuse. See, I'm just mad. I'm just mad. I'm very protective of Summer Wells' case. I'm disgusted with some of these people, Justin being one of them. And then after what he did to Kylie Rodney, I'm telling you, I have zero respect for him at all whatsoever. None.
on
Zero respect.
my personal opinion is what Justin put out about Kylie is so on the verge of almost a snuff film. It is disgusting.
I mean,
And
there's
if
people
he
out there
doesn't
that
see
hate it.
that, if he doesn't see what he put out as so close to that, he's demented. He's screwed up in the head. It's so close to that, that he's accepting super chats. He's getting paid for the vile content that he's putting out, of that nature. It's sick. He knew exactly what he was doing. He went frame by frame to do it, to highlight her in the car underwater. That is as close to vile as possible. It's that's it's not a snuff film because there is requirements for that, but it might as well be.
Did you see his face when he was talking about it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Complete and utter disgust.
I have it
Literally.
clipped. I have it clipped, Justin. I have it zoomed. I don't have it zoomed in on Kylie. I have it zoomed in on you. Your face. While you're playing it, you are a sick man. Sick man.
Mm-hmm.
You're disgusting. And if
This
you want
man
me to
never.
highlight that for you, if you want me to put it in any form or fashion for you, highlight your face, anything for you, I'll play it for you. Because you're disgusting. Your smirks, your lip curls, your anything for you is disgusting. You enjoy it way too much. You enjoy it.
Did you guys
And
see
that's the
Savage
disgusting
Lives?
part.
Oh, did you guys see Savage Lives video?
Yeah.
She said we could play it. She said anybody could play my content. I like Savage. Check this
I
out.
do too.
I mean, this is what we have when people who have zero compassion, empathy, give a shit for anybody else. I'd love for him to take a freaking link. It's pinned at the top, Justin. Come on, have a seat at the
a
table.
closer picture of Kylie in there.
God.
Kind of edited some photos, so where we could see some photos better of the underwater video, and I was able to even get a closer picture of and I was able to even get a closer picture of Kylie in
Like it's a freaking accomplishment.
there.
Fuck.
You are one sick individual. I don't know who was worse, you or fucking Molly. Jaundice for all. You're disgusting, dude. You are so disgusting for doing
Preach
this.
it, savage.
So you went and looked at AWP's video and you took it upon yourself to sit there behind your desk, behind all your damn foundation that don't match your body, looking like you got jaundice for all. That's what you are. And you went by frame and edited out the clip so you could see the girl's face. You're that fucking sick. That's some shit you and Molly would do. Yeah, that's what y'all would do. Yeah, see what I'm saying about these tragedy pimps? You see how they're gearing up? They are going to tear this investigation all to hell. All for money. Do the right thing, people. Do the right thing.
Gross. Gross. I go back to I'm the parent who got that phone call. I'm the parent that had to worry about these freaking people, and I'm thankful. I'm so thankful that not one of these people ever had any knowledge of who my son was, because Lord help them if they ever violated my son's privacy, my privacy. To hell with doing the right thing at that point. And somebody is going to be like that with these people. I'm not saying they deserve it. These people are crossing lines. They are crossing lines. And I think with that, I want to play this. Oh, I'm getting so fired up. I know I'm my mouth's going to start popping off like really bad, and I don't want to be like that. I want to play this video. Just the names and the faces of the people. Of Jessica and Jason Pugh, P-U-G-H, Willard, one more time, and then I think I want to call it a night because I can feel my blood pressure going up. I'm just
Hold on, I got one
go ahead.
thing.
Yes.
For YouTube dumpster firefighter with her, she said somebody misled that boy on his undertone. I have a recommendation for Justin. It's a makeup company called Little oh crap, what is it? It's Little Makeage. It's a foundation company that does like perfect match to your skin tone. He's gonna need to invest in some really good foundation for himself because he sucks at it.
Honey,
He
pumpkin
sucks.
spice is right around the corner. That's his tone. Put on your pumpkin spice. Where that shit was. I'm sick of him. Sick of him. I want him to glow.
It's
So
little.
come in.
It's IL. IL Mc. I think it's IL. Hold on. IL Makeage. Not L Makeage. It's IL Makeage. It's a good site. And he needs to invest in that. It's really good. Good foundation company. You do a whole like color match thing for yourself and full coverage makeup.
How do y'all know
Should
about
cover
this
his
stuff?
like,
How
oh,
do y'all know? How do you,
just
my sister-in-law is trying to
just
teach me about makeup because I don't know nothing about it.
but it should cover his like his 4 o'clock shadow and all of those things. It'll be great for him. But yeah, he just really needs to invest in a really good company to do a color match, and he should be set. But like whatever color he's using right now, that fake, you know, Dollar General foundation that he's found, not working, not working.
I seriously thought he just used orange everything, orange and pink. I don't know nothing about makeup stuff. My sister-in-law is really trying
Yeah,
to work with me. I'm probably the only
yeah,
woman that I'm clueless. The older I get, the more I need it. But I'm learning. My sister-in-law is challenged. She's a hell of a challenge with teaching me all of this stuff. I mean,
yeah,
you said it, and then YouTube Dumpster Firefighter typed it in the chat, like bing,
yeah. He
bing.
needs to stay away from Dollar General or you know, Walgreens discount aisle of makeup, and and you know, invest in some really good foundation, you know, bronzer, base, and everything else, and he should be just fine. But what he's doing currently is not working. You're not looking so hot, hun. You know, find yourself some real drag queens, and they'll help you out tremendously. Hang out there. They'll teach you how to apply it. You'll be fine. Promise. And get you a really good wig. That grandma wig, terrible, terrible.
I want him to
You
go get
look
some good
bad.
morals and shit, you know? Just look at some morals and
You look
compassion
bad.
and some empathy, jerk. The quiz one says, I'd love to do his makeup for him. Color matches Key Justin. I mean, I don't know what y'all talking about, but I trust you. I will trust you. Give me a couple months and I'll have this girl stuff down, I promise. I will know about
I
all
mean,
the makeup things.
he needs to stay out of like Spirit for his wigs. Stay out of the Spirit aisle during Halloween. Go to like a real wig shop. Get yourself
Girl, that's
something
his
nice and pretty.
time. Halloween is his jam.
You know,
See,
but
I'm getting nasty.
you're making you're making plenty of money on YouTube. Get yourself something nice and pretty. Be a pretty girl. You'll be fine. I promise. Do something pretty for yourself. You deserve it.
He could
I'm
pull
not being
Marilyn
hateful. I'm
Monroe.
just trying to be helpful. Yeah, I'm
He
not
could
trying to be
seriously
hateful. I'm
pull
trying to be
Marilyn
helpful.
Monroe. I mean, he would be a beautiful Marilyn Monroe, but his attitude is shit.
Yeah,
He's a shit
I mean,
person.
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm trying to be helpful. Okay? You could be real pretty,
I
but
loved
you're gonna
him
have to.
until he got his own channel, and then the real him came out, and I was like, wow, I missed that one by a landslide. You know, I
Yeah,
thought I really like him. Nope, nope, he's one of the worst. He's feeding the frenzy. Um, okay, I want to show these real quick, and then I'm starting to get cold, and I am aggravated as shit. I was not. I was really hoping that she wasn't. I was really hoping that that their news was going to say that there was, a ransom requested or something like that, and this didn't happen. I'm just another
bye,
one.
Lise. Bye, Quiz.
Elise, have a great night. Elise, Levesque, have a great night, and I'll be looking for your email. I'll be awake for a while. I'll be looking for it so I can email you back. Thanks for coming in tonight. The quiz one. Thank you for coming in. You are amazing. YouTube Dumpster Firefighter, love you. Empath Test, it's been great having you here. I appreciate you very much. I hope that you come back. We got Blushing Blue Eyes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are a dream. I don't know what she does. Emergency Me is my spirit sister. I love having you on panel with me. I don't get near as nervous and feeling all shaky and stuff.
Oh, I love being here
Yeah,
with you.
I appreciate it. So I just want to run through this one more time. The phone number to put out with if anybody shares this, I would greatly appreciate it. You can change it up, add music. I don't know how to do all that fancy stuff. What's really important, the phone number and then the photos and the truck. And I'm gonna contact law enforcement again. Tomorrow's Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday. Try to talk to the actual officer that's in charge of investigating and try to get either the plate number or why he's not comfortable releasing it. Something I'm gonna try to get something because I agree that I think that's important. Um, these are from earlier this summer. These are the most recent photos with the correct hair color. He doesn't have a lot of facial hair in this photo. This is the only one that I could find. But if you like zoom in on it, you can see that he's got like the stubble stuff going on. Like maybe he cut it too short or something. Reddish colored hair, like a reddish blonde. I think that if Jessica is seen, she's absolutely stunning. So I think it'll be easy to spot both of them. So anybody that can share this out, I greatly appreciate it. Here's the phone number again. And the police department. Oops, the number for the police department. And I'll update this as I get information. Last name Pugh, and it's pronounced Pew, like Pew. Pew. It's a pretty common name in that area. So I'm going to put that out again. And final words, Emergency Me. What you got?
Thank you so much for sharing that this couple's missing. And I pray for their family and pray for their beautiful children and hope that they come home safely.
Me too. I hope everybody comes home safely. I'm about sick and tired of finding, getting bad news. I'm just, enough suffering in the world.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, Emergency Me, and helping me through that. I don't ever want to do that shit again.
Yeah.
It was I want to forward it on, but it's kind of like how do I don't know. There's just a lot of explanations, I guess, for why that's all the information, but I don't have the explanation, so I was kind of stuck with like what's the right thing to do. But yeah, if anybody can clip that and share that out, I would greatly appreciate it. I think probably the next couple of days. What I wanted to talk about tonight, but like I don't know. I was also frustrated with the true crime stuff, but end of the summer, starting into school, especially like Labor Day weekend, kind of signifying end of summer, beginning of fall. Usually is kind of an emotional time for people because it starts, one season ends and then a new school season starts. Kids are getting older. And so grieving parents tend to struggle during that time. So I have a couple of videos that I have found on TED Talk that I have permission to share. So I think probably Wednesday I will do another live stream. And then I want to focus on that for people that may be struggling with emotional overload with new beginnings and endings, seasons and things like that. I can remember struggling a little bit. So I want to share some resources and some support and make sure everybody's okay with, with this situation. It can be pretty hard. It can be pretty hard. It can be pretty emotional. So just want to check in and make sure that everybody is doing okay. And if they're not, then what resources can we find that will help? So if there's anything in specific that anybody would like information on or resources about, please email me. Email's been in the chat. And you can also find it in the description and in the about section on the channel. So I will always reply. It might not be immediately right away, but if you put urgent or important in the subject line, I will get that one first. So thanks everybody for being here. If you're catching it on the replay, thank you for that also. And I want to remind everybody, your record for getting through all the bad times is 100%, which means you're doing that perfectly. So keep on going. With that, I hope everybody has a great night and a good day tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.